I'm calling the meeting to order. The NVUSD Board of Education is holding a regular board meeting tonight, and we invite participation either remotely or in person. Directions on how to participate via Zoom are available at nvusd.org/board. The open session part of the meeting will begin at around 7 p.m. Item B, public comment on closed session items. Before going into closed session, the board is available for public comment on closed session agenda items. Mr. Michaels, do we have any public comments on closed session agenda items online?
There are no public comments on closed session items.
Thank you. And there are no other people in the boardroom. So seeing that there are none, the board will now adjourn into closed session. Thank you. School District Board of Education. The NVUSD Board of Education is holding a regular board meeting tonight, and we invite participation either remotely or in person. Directions on how to participate via Zoom are available at nvusd.org/board. Spanish interpretation is available for tonight's virtual board meeting. Our interpreters are Francisco Mesa and Claudia Lindgren. One of our interpreters will now translate the directions on our English channel so our Spanish-speaking families may hear the instructions.
Sí, muy buenas noches. La Junta de Educación del Distrito Escolar Unificado de Napa Valley celebrará esta noche una reunión ordinaria y les invitamos a participar, ya sea de forma remota o presencial. Las instrucciones para participar a través de Zoom están disponibles en nvusd.org/a-la-inversa.board. Habrá servicio de interpretación al español para la reunión virtual de esta noche. Nuestros intérpretes son Francisco Mesa y Claudia Lindgren. A continuación, se darán las instrucciones en nuestro canal en inglés para que nuestras familias de habla hispana puedan escucharlas. En su computadora, haga clic en el botón del globo, elija español y marque silenciar audio original. En celular o tableta, toque en más, luego interpretación, seleccione español, active silenciar audio original y presione finalizado. Gracias. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you. Can we please start with the attendance roll call from Vera Morales, Executive Assistant?
Yes, Student Board Member Greason.
Here.
Trustee Shu.
Present.
Trustee Gonzalez Mares.
Here.
Trustee Villegas Hart.
Present.
Trustee Jankowicz.
Present.
Trustee Martin.
Present.
Trustee Water.
Present.
Trustee Reiser.
Present.
Quorum present. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us tonight for our NVUSD board meeting. As we begin our meeting this evening, we would like to begin by sharing both our Napa Valley Unified School District's vision and mission statements. Our vision is our graduates are confident, compassionate, and adaptable adults who are well prepared for life and become inspiring advocates for themselves and their community. NVUSD's mission is to prepare each student for a successful future by delivering rigorous and relevant learning experiences that develop their literacy and career-ready skills, cultivate their interests, and build resilience, compassion, and confidence. Item E1, report on closed session. Trustee Gonzalez-Mares, do we have a report on closed session agenda items?
Yes, we do, President Chu. In regards to item E1, report on closed session items, D2A, personnel. In closed session, the board took action to approve the following staff recommendations effective the 2026-2027 school year. On a motion by Trustee Martin and second by Trustee Jankowicz, the board voted unanimously to appoint Troy Holding to the position of principal at Browns Valley TK8. Trustee Chu, aye. Trustee Gonzalez Mares, aye. Trustee Villegas Hart, absent. Trustee Jankowicz, aye. Trustee Martin, aye. Trustee Reiser, aye. And Trustee Water, aye.
Great. Thank you, Vice President Gonzalez Mares. And I know that we have Mr. Troy Holding, the new principal of Browns Valley, online. And we're going to invite him to come on as a panelist. And Mr. Holding, I invite you, first of all, welcome, and I invite you to address the board and the community this evening as we appoint you to the NVUSD management team.
Can everybody see me and hear me okay?
We can.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Dr. Massetti and President Chu and the remainder of the school board members. My name's Troy Holding, and I am so honored to be here tonight as the new principal of Browns Valley TK8 School. This opportunity means a great deal to me, not only because it's going to bring me back to California, but also because it allows me to join a school community that clearly puts students first. What stood out to me most about Browns Valley and Napa Valley Unified is the strong commitment to relationships, student success, and creating a place where every child feels seen, supported, and challenged to grow. Those are deep values that align with me and my beliefs as an educator and also as a leader. You know, I believe the role of a principal is to serve students, of course, support staff, and build strong partnerships with families in the community. I want every student to feel a sense of belonging and every family to know that they have a true partner in their child's education. I believe that schools are strongest when trust and collaboration and high expectations are at the center of the work that we do. I am so excited for the opportunity to work alongside the dedicated staff at Browns Valley and continue building on the strong foundation that already exists there. I also look forward to listening and learning and becoming part of this incredible school community. Again, I'm truly grateful for this opportunity, and I look forward to getting to know everybody, all the students, all the staff, and the families of Browns Valley TK8, and I can't wait to be there in person to meet all of you. So thank you very much for this opportunity.
Great, welcome. And congratulations.
Thank you so much.
And we have another motion. This is a motion done by Trustee Martin, a second by Trustee Water. The board voted unanimously to appoint Tyler Roberts to the position of principal at Vichy TK8. Trustee Chu, aye. Trustee Gonzalez Mares, aye. Trustee Villegas Hart, absent. Trustee Jankowicz, aye. Trustee Martin, aye. Trustee Reiser, aye. And Trustee Water, aye.
Thank you, Vice President Gonzalez Mares. And tonight we have Mr. Tyler Roberts here in the boardroom. And Mr. Roberts, we invite you to come to the podium, address the school board and the community.
Do you mind turning on the mic? Right?
Good evening, President Chu, Dr. Musetti, and the NVUSD board. I'm excited and honored to become the next principal at Vichy TK through 8. While I'm so grateful to have been able to serve the Vintage community over these last 6 years, I'm incredibly honored and looking forward to building new connections and relationships with the Vichy staff, students, and community at large. Thank you for this opportunity, and go Vikings.
Congratulations, Mr. Roberts. Already part of the NVUSD management team, but excited for his new appointment.
And that completes my report.
Thank you, and welcome to the leadership of our schools. All right, we are now on item E2, flag salute. I would like to invite Lorraine Galvan and her brother Ivan Galvan to the podium to give our flag salute. Thank you so much. All right, we are now on to E3, announcement. This meeting is live streamed and recorded via Zoom and will be archived on the district YouTube channel. For a detailed review of any meeting agenda item, the archive video can be referenced on the district's webpage at nvusd.org. The process for public comment can also be found on the district's webpage. Item E4, approval of agenda. Before I ask for a motion, I would like to move J1A and J1B to after G and before H. And now may I get a motion?
So moved.
Second?
First by trustee Gonzalez Mares, second by trustee Riser. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. All right. E5, approval of minutes, March 12th, 2026 minutes.
Move to approve?
Second.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Martin. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain.
Abstain. One abstention by trustee Villegas Hart. And motion passes. Minutes from March 26, 2026.
Move to approve?
Second.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Martin. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And I abstain. And motion passes. April 7th, 2026 minutes.
Move to approve?
Second.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Martin. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain?
Abstain.
Abstained by trustee Villegas Hart, and motion passes. All right. Now we are on item E6, recognition of visitors and employee organizations. Dr. Massetti, do we have any visitors in attendance?
We do. We have tonight, this evening in the boardroom, the president of the Napa Valley Educators Association, Ms. Deb St. Clair. Ms. St. Clair, would you like to address the board this evening? Okay, great. Those are all of our visitors from our employee organizations that are present this evening, President Chu.
Thank you. All right, item F, recognition of Students of the Month. F1, American Canyon High School. Will Principal Hatton please present the Students of the Month?
Good evening. Just a quick housekeeping item. I believe you might have a purple folder with you. Do you? That belongs. There you go.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And Lorraine, this doesn't get easier because every time I have to stand here, I get super nervous, so you're good. But President Chu, Dr. Musetti, Board of Trustees, thank you for allowing us to be here tonight. My two candidates this month are very special to me in that these two students represent two students who I feel I know sort of the best as a second-year principal. And they both are compassionate and relational humanitarians and ready for adulthood and the real world. Lorraine Galvan is our Student of the Month for April. I don't know how many of you have social media, but there's a meme going around that is appealing to employers to always hire a theater kid. And when you hear from Lorraine, you'll know why. Not only that is she is a champion for inclusion, she has the warmest, most compassionate heart. And she really, every time I walk through the halls and I see her in the drama room or on campus, she's always helping somebody. She's always out for the collective. She's elevating everyone else's performance. And I'm really honored to introduce her as our April Student of the Month.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Lorraine Galvan from American Canyon High School, and I'm truly honored to be recognized as Student of the Month for April. I want to thank the board and our superintendent and the teachers who nominated me. It really means a lot to be seen and supported in this way. If I'm being honest, this award made me reflect. When people think of awards like this, they often picture a student athlete, someone with a perfect GPA, or someone who started a big organization. And while those achievements are incredible, I don't really see myself fitting in that definition. But receiving this award helped me realize something important. Impact doesn't come from titles or numbers. It comes from the way you show up for people. Throughout high school, I've been deeply involved in arts, and that's where I found my voice. I've been part of the drama program for all 4 years, whether that meant designing makeup backstage, performing on stage, or stepping into leadership roles, like directing productions. Each of those experiences taught me something different, not just about theater, but about confidence, responsibility, and storytelling. I've also been a part of our dance club, where I've had the honor of serving as an officer for 3 years now. That experience taught me how to lead and how to create a space for people to feel included and supported. And something that's really important to me, I was given the opportunity to join the student board after writing a letter about the lack of inclusion for our special education students like my brother. That moment allowed me to advocate for others and help make our school a more inclusive environment. Across all these experiences, what has mattered most to me isn't just what I've done, it's the people. The connections I've made, the moments I've shared, and the chances I got to support others. That's where I found my purpose. My experience in NVUSD has been especially meaningful. I moved here from Los Angeles in 2015. And the environment I came from lacked diversity and connection, but coming here, I found something completely different. A community that is welcoming, supportive, and full of different perspectives. And that environment helped shape who I am today. Along the way, I've gained mentors who have guided me, believed in me, and supported not just me, but my family. I especially want to thank the drama program because it gave me a sense of self. It showed me that I could be more than just a participant. I could lead, inspire, and make that difference. And that's something I will carry with me beyond high school. Because of these experiences, I now know what I want to do in life. I want to make an impact. I want to make that difference, and I want to advocate for others. This fall, I will be attending Portland State University to study social work, where I hope to continue supporting and uplifting people in meaningful ways. But more than anything, this award reminded me that it's the small moments that really do matter. The conversations, the encouragement, the times you show up for someone when they need it most. Those moments don't always get recognized, but they are what truly shape people's lives. And if there's one thing I hope to leave behind, it's that same feeling this community gave me, that everyone deserves to feel seen, heard, and valued. So thank you for seeing me, for believing in me, and for reminding me that the impact we make on others is what truly lasts. Thank you so much.
Okay, you did it. Amazing. You were great. I don't need this. So our April student of the month is Brian Belady. And I just, again, another story. I had the privilege for 4 years, or the horror for 4 years, how you look at it, to be a wrestling mom. Most of my 4 years was spent like this, on the edge of a mat, watching my son. And what I will say is, meeting Brian and watching him, you have 3 rounds of 2 minutes each. And watching this young man on the mat truly tells me everything I need to know about his character, because in every section of that match, this young man goes to the mat with calm and quiet confidence and does what he needs to do, even if he's not successful in the moment. He comes back again and again and again. I watched a match where it was 6 minutes long, and he was victorious because he stayed in the game. And Brian, that meant a lot as a former wrestling mom, because I know what it took for you to get there. He is immensely kind on campus. He's the first one to greet me with a good morning, Principal Hatton. He did so from the very first moment I got there. So I'd like to introduce you to Brian Belady.
That was such a great welcoming. Thank you, Ms. Hatton. And hello, everybody. My name is Brian Belady, and I am gratefully appreciative to be your April 2026 American Canyon High School Student of the Month. I would like to sincerely thank the board and the superintendent for this wonderful, wonderful amount of recognition. This award truly means a lot to me. To share a little bit about myself, I know you guys already heard about wrestling, but I'm involved. I began by first being a little curious. I'm a grateful first-generation immigrant who looks to find new opportunities, build more connections, and challenge myself to grow. When I first joined American Canyon High School in the Napa Valley Unified School District, I remember feeling like an outsider. I had transferred from Vallejo, being there from a K-8 school, and it seemed like everyone already had their own friend groups, and I knew I would have to step outside my comfort zone in order to be able to find my own place. I first began by getting involved in the opportunities American Canyon High School presented towards me. Starting from orientation, I joined 3 sports, cross country, wrestling, and swim during my freshman year, as well as participating in a various amount of clubs that aligned with my interests and challenged myself with rigorous courses. Beyond school, I stayed committed to martial arts and scouting, eventually earning my first-degree black belt and achieving my Eagle Scout rank. Changing up and balancing these commitments taught me discipline, resilience, and the importance of time management that I'll carry on for the rest of my life. And to reiterate, I am incredibly grateful for the support I have received from my teachers, mentors, peers, family, and friends. The diverse and supportive environment at American Canyon High School has played a major role in shaping not only my academic growth, but also who I am as a person. I have Ms. Hatton to thank for being there to help improve my community and support me in a few of my sporting events, as well as Ms. Sommers for always encouraging and helping me through my college application process, kind of tedious, and deciding my classes and future careers. Additionally, I would like to thank my family and friends, both here in the audience and back at school, for supporting my academic journey from the start, and my teachers throughout my academic career who have helped influence me in committing to many of these opportunities offered at the school, as well as inspire me to be the best that I can every single day. These mentorships and experiences have allowed me to grow, find my place, as well as strive to leave a positive impact on the community. None of this could have been possible without them and all of you guys. After high school, I'm still deciding, but leaning towards attending Cal Poly Maritime and pursuing a degree in mechanical engineering. I hope to apply my skills to design and improve maritime systems, while also gaining opportunities to travel and broaden my perspective so that I can achieve my goal to make a meaningful difference, not just in my local community, but on a larger global scale, and be a mentor. And what I want you guys to take away is that I want everyone out here to be able to leave your own legacies, big or small. Thank you for all your time, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful rest of your night. Thank you.
Congratulations to the ACHS Students of the Month. We are now at agenda item F2, Napa High School. Will Principal Ainsworth please present the Students of the Month?
So good evening, and thank you for having us back and getting the chance to honor 2 more amazing students. First up, we have Catherine Lopez. She is one of those quiet, subtle people that just walks around campus unassumingly, except she walks around with quiet excellence in everything she does. She carries a 4.5 GPA. She's involved in our orchestra. She plays tennis. And talking to some of her teachers, she's thoughtful, she thinks critically, and most importantly, she's fearless in her ability to challenge ideas that either she doesn't agree with or they push on her, but she's equally fearless and willing to receive and be challenged herself. She constantly is looking to learn and grow and develop. And then when you talk to her friends, she's just simply a great person and a great friend. It's my pleasure to introduce you to Catherine Lopez.
Okay, I'm kind of nervous. Okay, good Good evening to everyone here today. My name is Catherine Lopez, as my introduction has already stated, and I am a junior at Napa High School. I feel a bit unwell this evening, so thank you for your patience with me. I'll do my best to proudly represent Napa High School in this 2 to 3 minute speech. Firstly, I want to say how honored I am to having been chosen for this recognition. I know somebody else could be up here on this podium this evening, as I see every day that my fellow classmates are amazing students and people who are willing to put in the work and time for their goals. Following this, I would like to thank those that were involved for my selection for this recognition. I feel quite honored. Thank you. Next, I would like to thank the school board who oversees NVUSD, including all 3 of the schools I've attended throughout my education journey. I know this speech is supposed to be about how my achievements have been really good and stuff, but I truly believe I need to thank some people from these schools and from my life, as I truly believe that people are a mosaic of everyone that I've ever met. First, I want to thank all the teachers who have been a part of my journey and guided me, and to list some of them. From McPherson, I would like to thank Ms. Miller and Mr. Alves, who had started and inspired my love for tennis and orchestra, and I continue to do them every year as they truly bring me joy. From Silverado, I would like to thank Ms. Lemer, who maintained my passion for literature in an age when many of us would prefer to be on social media. To my current school in Napa, High School, I would like to thank 3 teachers, Ms. Howard, Ms. St. Clair, and Mr. Rienda, who are all amazing teachers and have only worked to make me a better student academically and a better person. Now, who I want to thank the most is my family and friends. I most definitely wouldn't be here today on this podium without them. My mom and dad have worked all of my life and encouraged me in being the best student person I can be. My mom is here with me tonight in the back. I would also like to thank my sisters, as without them, I wouldn't have had anyone to compete with and gloat to after all. As for my friends, they are some of the most awesome people I have ever met, and smart too, and I love how we all support each other to improve every day. Next, I would like to talk a little bit about myself. Ever since I was young, I've had quite the passion for learning. I never really knew why though, to be honest. I thought about it for so long, I am sure it must be longer than my screen time. But I think that for the sake of this speech to sound important, it was about time I chose why. I think I've really known this answer all along though. I just thought it was a bit embarrassing to say out loud. I would like to pursue higher education and not have to worry about money. Obviously, this means I either have to be smart, athletic, or rich. I am not the last two, but I do believe I could categorize myself as the first, though the real issue with this is actually being recognized for it. With my hard work being recognized here tonight, I have more hope that I'll be able to replicate it in my pursuit of higher education. I would like to thank you all in the audience and the school board this evening, for allowing me to share a bit about myself and the people who only encourage me to be better as a person and a student. Good night. Okay.
Take pictures at the end.
Oh.
All right, this next one, I actually will be the first time ever that I don't have to move the mic down. This individual has a name that comes with him in Napa, and it's sometimes hard as someone who grew up as a son of someone that had a name in their town. It can be intimidating, and it is with great pride that I get to see Matthew walk around campus as his own person. And an incredible young man. He is humble in everything he does, but when you're as large as he is, it's hard to not stand out. Quite possibly the best thing that I have gotten to see in the development of a young man is how he's developed into a leader and discovered his voice as a leader. And it's always remarkable to see the impact of that for someone so young. And it was a joy over summer. During the summer months, as a principal, you do have a little bit more downtime. And in those downtimes, I found myself navigating out to the weight room where the football team was lifting weights. And it was a pleasure and a joy to watch Matthew work out with his team, but his team following his example and how hard they worked. His leadership showed up in every other kid in that weight room and how hard they worked. And that's Matthew in a nutshell. When you see Matthew and you're around Matthew, you match his level of work and his leadership, and he raises the bar in everything he does. So it's my pleasure tonight to introduce you to Matthew Hutchinson.
Good evening. First off, I would like to thank my parents, Dan and Jessica, who you may know as the principal of Vintage High School. Go Napa. For supporting me and then some throughout my entire life. I would also like to thank the NVUSD School Board and Dr. Musetti and the Napa High staff and administration for this recognition. And I want to congratulate my classmate Catherine and the other students of the month here tonight for this recognition as well. As Dr. Ainsworth said, I'm a junior at Napa High School, and I attended Alta Heights Elementary and Silverado Middle School. At Napa High, I've enjoyed all of my classes, but the ones I have connected with the most are my honors Spanish classes with Mrs. Griffin and my English 10 class with Mr. Aaron. It's really special and appreciated to have teachers such as these who show up to class joyously with a smile on their faces every day. Furthermore, Ms. St. Clair's AP World History class grew my passion for history, and Mr. Chatham's AP English Language class helped me develop enthusiasm for writing that was non-existent before. At Napa High, I've had the pleasure of playing 3 sports: basketball, baseball, and my favorite, football. Prior to this year, I was just a jock involved in sports and nothing else. But sports is a big part of my life. It's how I contribute to my Napa High School community and connect with my peers and friends, either as a player or as a fan. For me, athletics is where I have found camaraderie, school spirit, and opportunities to be a leader. In August of this school year, I unfortunately tore my ACL in the second play of the varsity football scrimmage, and this ended my entire junior athletics. This was a major setback for me in many regards, but I eventually decided to try and give back to and support my community while still finding ways to be involved in the sports that I love. I found these opportunities by voluntarily running the scoreboards for Optimist Youth Basketball and to be with my teammates and operate the scoreboard at Napa High Varsity Baseball. I was just running the scoreboard at their home game prior to coming to this board meeting. After high school, I intend to continue my football career at a 4-year university if I have the opportunity to play at the collegiate level. I would like to major in either economics, finance, or history, and then attend law school to pursue a career in law. At Napa High, I'm most grateful to have become a part of a great community that is caring and supportive. I truly appreciate all the staff, and I'm especially thankful of their care and support that they allowed in the aftermath of my injury and knee surgery. I'm proud to be a part of Napa High, and I look forward to getting back on the field next year. Thank you.
Are we going to take pictures now?
We are.
Okay, so we're going to pause for a few minutes to take pictures with the students of the month.
And we'll start with American Canyon High School, if you can come on up. We invite the whole board to come on up.
All right, we're going to continue. Congratulations to all the students of the month, and we're just waiting for their departure right now. We are now on agenda item G, public comments on non-agenda items. Before I open the floor to public comment on non-agenda items, I would like to explain the rules that govern this area of the meeting. The Brown Act open meeting laws under which we are required to operate prohibit board members from discussing items that you may bring up that are not on our current agenda. The reason for this legal restriction is to make sure that anyone who has an interest in a particular district business matter knows through the board's posted agenda when we will be discussing it as a board so that they may also be present and provide input on the item. We are very happy to have you here to let us know your concerns. Please know that while we cannot discuss items that are not on the agenda, we are listening to your voices, and we expect and know that our staff will follow up with us on issues raised by members of our community. Relevant to the remainder of the board agenda, please understand that the board listens and considers public comment on the agendized items during our meeting. However, public comment is not intended to be a two-way dialogue between the public and board members and/or staff, and therefore trustees will not respond to individual comments. This is in accordance with our meeting procedures. We invite members of the public to provide input via public comment per our board bylaw 9323 regarding meeting agenda items. We welcome and appreciate the public's engagement and input. In sum, please know that your voice matters and makes a difference. Your public comment on agendized items might be referenced during our discussions and will be considered as we make decisions regarding agendized items. Trustee Gonzalez-Morris, did we receive any public comment on non-agendized items via email at publiccomment@nvusd.org?
No public comment on non-agenda items were submitted via email at publiccomment@nvusd.org before 8 a.m. this morning.
Thank you. We do have one public comment to Danielle Tillman. Can you come up to the podium? Is the mic on? Do you see a light?
No, now it is.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Danielle Tillman. I'm the mother of a 6-year-old student in this district. In November 2025, my daughter experienced racial incidents at her elementary school. This district's response was to transfer her to another school. No one was held accountable. My 6-year-old was the only one who had to leave. 3 months later, at her new school, another student told her, I don't sit next to Black people. A teacher witnessed it. I reported it. After that meeting, the behavior did not stop. My daughter continued to be teased and called names. She told the principal herself that she was still sad. She is 6. Today, my daughter is in therapy. I'm sorry, forgive me. Today, my daughter is in therapy. She has nightmares every week. She is afraid to go to sleep. She has anxiety about going to school. She questions her identity. She is 6. After raising concerns, the district corrected her attendance, and we have begun independent study. While I appreciate that, it should not take this level of escalation. Independent study is not a solution. It is a response to a problem that still exists. So I asked this board directly, why was a 6-year-old being treated as truant while following medical guidance for her safety? I have filed a formal complaint. The NAACP is involved. I have followed every process. And still my daughter is the one paying the price. This board can act quickly. I'm asking you to act with the same urgency for students. My daughter was racially harassed at 2 schools in 3 months. The district acknowledged it. And the only person displaced twice is the 6-year-old victim. My daughter deserves better. Every child deserves better. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Tillman, for coming in this evening. I would ask Dr. Reddy if you can connect with Ms. Tillman, just confirm that you're aware of the complaint. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Tillman. Mr. Michaels, are there any public comments on non-agenda items online?
Yes, we do have one public comment. Norma Ortiz, go ahead, please.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. Hello, Board of Trustees and the Napa community. My name is Norma Ortiz, and I'm a family member of a student attending Napa High School, and I also have a student there as well, an 11th grader. Across all high schools in the district, there is a need to strengthen the pathway for long-term English learners, particularly for students who are also in special education and are not yet reading at grade level and continue to demonstrate low test scores. These students are among the most vulnerable in our system. They require targeted, coordinated supports that address both language development and foundational literacy, not fragmented or reduced services. This is not just about placement, it is about access and effectiveness. Without clearly aligned services, students cannot fully access the curriculum or make meaningful progress. As decisions are being made for the upcoming academic school year, I urge the district to ensure these supports are not reduced but strengthened across all high schools. I respectfully urge you to ensure that ELD supports and courses remain available at all high schools, including Napa High School. These programs are not optional, they are essential. They must not be reduced or eliminated, but strengthened and aligned with the need of long-term English learners and students with disabilities. I also ask the board to ensure there is a clear, consistent pathway for these students across all high schools in the district, with accountability for outcomes. These students cannot wait. Thank you for your time and attention.
Thank you for your comment. Mr. Michaels, any more comments online?
There are no further public comments on non-agenda items.
Thank you. We will now move on to item J, presentations and discussions. Item J1, instructional services. J1A, college and career readiness progress report.
Good evening, President Chu, Board of Trustees, and Dr. Musetti. We are excited to present to you the College and Career Readiness Progress Report this evening, and to have our College and Career Readiness team, as well as our amazing counselors here with us. This is aligned to Strategy 2 of our strategic plan, and this evening you'll hear about how we're building partnerships, we're expanding access for our students through piloting different programs, and we're offering more resources to our students for both college and career. Our ultimate goal is that our students have career-aligned real-world learning, and whether that is a path through college to a career or it's leaving high school and going straight into career, that they have developed the skills and the knowledge they need for that next step that they would like to take. Tonight you'll hear we had success indicators this year, and so tonight we're going to share about specific success indicators as they align to our board priorities. The first one is about our career technical education pathways. We're starting off with career this evening because even if a student starts their journey in college, ultimately our goal is that they end up in a career, and that is a pathway to the career of their choice. So we'll talk about career technical education to start us off, where students have the opportunity to start their exploration early. You'll also hear about school links and how that supports work-based learning, and then industry-focused sector advisory, specifically the one connected to Vintage High School for agricultural science. And then we'll move into how we're supporting students through their high school journey as they prepare for college and career by sharing more about our area's academic plans, our CCGI scope and sequence, and then our incredible partnership with the STARS Network. None of this would be possible without Director Landeros, who is our College and Career Director, our Coordinator of College and Career Readiness, Danielle Molinari, and our Counselor on Special Assignment, Kelly Watkins. It is a privilege and an honor to have them here tonight, and I'm incredibly grateful for their service. And with that, I will turn it over to Danielle.
Oh, thanks. All right, thank you. So yes, I am Danielle Molinari. I'm the College and Career Readiness Coordinator, and tonight I get to speak to a few different items. One, starting off with the awesome career technical education we have in our district. So this is an opportunity for all students to take when they are in any of our high schools. It is a 2-course pathway, depending on which 13 of the pathways that a student might choose from. Although they don't have to choose one, they can participate in more than one CTE pathway. And students that take career technical education, the really great part about it is it's more than just a regular classroom. They are consistently participating with local industry partners. They're going on more field trips than a typical classroom would. There's job shadows, workplace tours, consistently guest speakers coming into classrooms, and it's really giving them exposure and experience to enter into one of the careers that's entry level. So students can earn industry-aligned certificates and college credit in many of these courses, and every single CTE course does fulfill graduation requirements, and they are UC A to G eligible. As we did have questions at our parent night the other night, some of those courses are electives, although some of them also do fulfill things like sciences. So career technical student organizations. So when students are a part of career technical education, one of the great components is students get to participate in an organization that's aligned with their pathway. So just recently, we had 3 of the high schools compete in Skills USA, and they qualified for the state competition. And at that state competition, Vintage High School and New Tech High won the gold chapter of distinction, which is really phenomenal. You can see in the pictures there a couple of those. And then James, Oliver, and Danica won the gold in outstanding chapter competition, which is phenomenal, from New Tech. Emery, who's standing there in the single picture from Vintage, won the bronze in the advertising design. Emery is part of the graphic design and screen printing pathway at Vintage High School. And then Quatamuk and Nathan from Napa High placed 4th in 3D visualization. So it's cut off by talking boardroom from what I can see. But American Canyon High School, thank you. American Canyon High School will compete at a different CTSO just this weekend. They actually start competing tomorrow, and they are competing in food innovations. That is the culinary arts program that's happening at ACHS. So we have a team of 3. They have a phenomenal type of food that they have invented themselves, and hopefully we'll see how they place at state competition. So all of the pathways that we do offer within our district are listed here on this wheel. Thank you for moving that again. So each of the ones that are actually outlined on the outside of this wheel here are the ones that we have within our high schools. So within the healthcare and human services career cluster, we have 2 different ones that are offered: health science and sports medicine. Those are 2 different pathways. Within agriculture, we have agriculture science, and then we also have viticulture, which will be starting next year at Vintage High. We have construction, which is within construction. Within advanced manufacturing, we have 3 different pathways. So we have engineering, manufacturing, graphic design, and print shop. And then our last 2 categories that we have are hospitality and events and tourism. We have culinary arts in multiple high schools. And then arts, entertainment, and design. We have digital design at New Tech, and then multimedia, which is at Vintage High. And then, sorry, I missed one over there. Business, which exists at multiple high schools as well for management and entrepreneurship. So what I've really been focusing on with our team this year is about the actual criteria of which pathways we really should be offering. So what we did is we looked at the top 5 criteria here, which is what's the student interest for participating in these different pathways. And part of what we looked at was the Aries academic plan, which is what Ms. Watkins will speak to, and then course selection data, which all students do in the springtime. Then we looked at wage potential, both locally, regionally, and national data. Then we looked at what is the demand for those careers, so again, locally, regionally, and nationally. And then we really looked at what's the sustainability for us to offer those courses, and that's looking at what type of staffing do we have, the people who actually work in that industry, because in order to teach a career technical education course, you do need to have industry experience. And then infrastructure, so what actual facilities do we have at our sites? Work-based learning opportunities is really one of the largest focuses for career technical education. So again, I kind of spoke to that, having those local industry partners for all the different pathways, earning certifications, giving students the opportunity to have job shadows and internships as well. So part of what we have been working on as well is the Golden State Pathways Program outcomes. So there are a lot of different things that are listed there, but in order for us to earn some of the grants that we hope to receive and are part of, we are looking at what are all the different options that we can offer within our pathways to earn funding for. So I kind of went over this when I was talking about the wheel, but these are the different pathways that are offered at our current high schools. As you can see, there's 2 new pathways that are opening in the fall of 2026. One, which will be the health science pathway at American Canyon High School. There was a really strong interest in students participating in healthcare occupations in the future. And this already from looking at enrollment data and course tally data, students are very, very interested in that. And then the other new course will be Vintage High School will have viticulture as well. So speaking to that, yesterday we were able to have our amazing ribbon cutting at the new Agriculture and Culinary Innovation Student Center. So yes, lovely to see all of you again. So we, as you can see, we're out there in the grass, although that's been cut now. But yeah, I received a tractor today over there. So anyways, we did, because of the new pathway and really trying to bring our industry partners together, we did create a new agriculture advisory. We've now met 2 times in the past few months and really tried to review the pathways that we offer within agriculture, trying to figure out what the skills are that the students need, make sure we're meeting the industry standards for Napa County, and then what facilities and equipment do we really need to have on the new site in order for students to really be able to have that hands-on learning. So we did define the different objectives within every unit of the courses, and then figured out what the resources are that we need to have in order to implement that in the fall. So we are already receiving lots of different equipment. As I said, I was over there today receiving a couple of the new items. All right, one of the amazing things that students get to participate in is work-based learning. So this year, one of the large focuses is that every single elementary and TK-8 school would have a career day on their campus. We still have 2 more upcoming, so stay tuned. And yes, that is one of our lovely community members, Minerva. If you have been to her track before, De Canela, it's phenomenal. And she was at West Park as one of the presenters as a baker, and each of these kiddos were dressed up as a baker. So it was it's like I planned that. So anyways, what we've been doing is having all these different career days for every single student to participate in and learn about different careers that are in our community, getting to see who actually exists, and we're really focusing on what is one specific career cluster that they want to focus on. So as an example, Alta Heights chose healthcare and human services, so every presenter that everyone from TK to 5th grade saw was in that space. Middle school do get to participate. Theirs is far more hands-on, although there are plenty of things happening hands-on. At the elementary level, the 8th graders get to attend a phenomenal career expo where they really get to, I mean, some of the kids, they get their hair done and their nails done. They get, and it's really, really phenomenal. Our maintenance team participates, which is phenomenal, and they get to, you know, actually see how all the machinery works and everything. And then again, at the high school level, we have a lot of different programs happening. New Tech is continuing their internship program, which is phenomenal. I know Zoe, who is sitting on the board, participated. And then we did start a new internship program at Valley Oak. So those students are participating in a 5 or 6 week internship rotation with a few different local companies, one being the actual district, and students are doing phenomenal at that. I was speaking with the Maintenance and Grounds Division yesterday about getting those kids to actually apply to some of our open positions that we have in that department. And then upcoming in May, we have 2 Launch Your Future expos that are being held. One's happening at American Canyon High School, and one's happening at Napa High for all the Napa High schools. And that's really targeting the students who are interested in either currently getting a summer career or a summer internship, but it's also inviting all of the trades and unions and apprenticeship programs that are local to us, as well as all of the 2-year programs that exist in our community. So it's anywhere from, you know, sonography program coming to students that are interested in doing welding at NBC. So lots of different people are participating in those to really get students interested in what careers or pathways they might want to take if they're not headed to a 4-year college. Okay. School Links, one of the awesome things that we launched this year, we piloted it last year at New Tech, and then this year multiple schools are participating with it. Well, now every high school is, but in different capacities. So the really great thing is this is a tool that gives students the ability to explore different career opportunities. So as a community member, they can post opportunities on this platform, and then students can actually, depending on what they post on it, students can either sign up or it might just say to come in person. So this is really phenomenal for those students who are looking to get volunteer hours, or if they're just interested in participating in something in the community. But there are also a lot of internship and job shadows that are posted here. So we've worked really hard, and we currently have over 500 industry partners that have connected with us on here, and they are posting opportunities for students. So at any given time, if a student is interested in looking for an opportunity, they can come onto the platform. So work-based learning, the students who are participating in internships or are completing service hours, they are logging them through this new platform. So New Tech students have been very busy, and they have thousands of hours at this point with their internship and school service and community service. And even busier are American Canyon High School students, and they have logged a phenomenal amount of community service hours. And then Valley Oak and New Tech as well is using it as to log their internship opportunities as well. So you can see one of the Valley Oak students there who was participating with our NOSH, although it is renamed, right? What is it now? Oh, it's still NOSH? Okay. A NOSH program. So the students are really, really enjoying that, and they're able to use the platform in order to log their hours. All right. That was a lot from me. Now you're, sorry. All right, now you're going to hear from Ms. Watkins, our college and career readiness counselor.
I'm going to move it down. First of all, I just want to say how much I love my team and I love this job. And I'm just grateful to be here to talk about the amazing work of the 7 counselors that are here and present today. So much more celebrating them, but all the time I'm going to be talking, I'm going to really be referencing the in the trenches work that they're doing every day. So in the fall, we launched the Aries Academic Plan. This has been something that we've been wanting to really get off the ground for many years, but I think we just needed the ultimate push. So with the help of Bibiana Corona at Vintage High School, who had previous experience with the academic plan, we rolled this out to all of our high school counselors really in October. And so it was a really big undertaking. As you know, change is hard for adults, probably less than for children, or more than for children. And so the academic plan lives in Aries, and it allows for counselors to guarantee that all students, 9 through 12, can plan out their four-year journey. It is so important for our students to track their progress with A to G, and also graduation requirements, but also to create a vision for their interests reflected in their classes and their course selection. So every year, the academic plan is updated. So I'll just use, Cindy Johnson has sophomores, so she is going to go back into her junior class in the fall, have her students pull up their academic plan and make adjustments. As they change, their plan can change. So it's not permanent, but it's an ongoing living thing that they get to manipulate as they get older and have a better sense of who they are and what they want to be and do. I'm going to go through these, quickly, not too quickly, but I just want to make sure that we get to celebrate our counselors. So this is what it looks like from the student side. This is a slide that Ms. Corona created during our training, and the academic plan allows us to do all of those things. The other thing that I absolutely love as a counselor at heart, and still am, any additional contact that we can have with students is why we got into this job. So our counselors get to connect with every single student in their caseload another time, in addition to when we register for classes. So us having those really vital conversations, like Myra Bogarian in the audience, she was so excited to do this, maybe more excited than most, because she saw the opportunity to work with students one-on-one, talk about their plans, engage with them about their course selection in the fall, so that when we got to the spring, the foundation was already laid. So, our counselors really rolled up their sleeves, tackled something really immense, and the outcome was outstanding. It was not easy. I mean, we're some bumps along the road. I mean, we're constantly learning when we're doing new things. And so as the CCR team was rolling this out, we're going to be even better and more prepared for the fall when our 9th graders engage in this work in probably late September, early October. So I just love the fact that students get to have a menu and plan it out, and that it also helps us with our CTE pathways, like Danielle was talking about. If they pick the first one in the pathway, we're going to have the conversation. Now, Robin, you signed up for Culinary 1 here. You have to put Culinary 2 in the next year. So again, it's all really connecting everything that we do. Advanced Placement Counselor Credential Program, I love that we're offering every single year more and more professional development for our counselors. This is something they're hungry for. We have a lot of SEL professional development, but to be honest, we need more of the college and career aspects of our professional development. So this was an opportunity that Dr. Reddy presented to Mario and myself, and we ran with it. We actually have 6 completers as of tonight, because I just got a new certificate, and I just want to say Anna Andrilla in the room, Miss Trish Hernandez in the room, Gloriana, who's not here, Emily Rainey, who's not here, and Annabelle. They've already completed theirs. So, and I'm halfway done. So we have at least 13 more counselors that have already vocalized interest. We also rolled this out to our middle school counselors, who are also eager to learn about, again, how to help kids transition to the 9th grade. So the more that all of us are informed, the better we can advocate for students and access into AP. College and career guidance. If rolling out the academic plan wasn't enough for the counselors to start throwing things at me or Mario, we just added another thing to their plate that's already completely full. So CCGI is a free platform that actually did come from the counselors. So this is something that they wanted, and we were able to connect them with. So this is in EdCode. It's through the California Department of Education, and they actually just came out and trained our middle school counselors, which was phenomenal, earlier this week. And so this free career tool, it's also a college tool as well, allows, again, more touch points with our counselors, pushing into classrooms and delivering lessons to their entire caseload. The expectation this year, we had to change because we kept adding things for them to do on top of all of the things that they already do. So these superheroes decided that they were just gonna go for it, and we created a pretty kind of skeleton scope and sequence. We wanted 2 lessons, a grade level. I've already been looking at the data, and our counselors are doing phenomenal work. Big shout out to our 12th grade counselors this year. I think that was really, truly our greatest focus. We had every single senior in NVUSD, we tried, to apply to UCs, CSUs, and FAFSA, Community College, and California Dream Act all through this platform. Here's why that's important. It allows us to track. So, for example, Anna Andrilla, senior counselor at Napa High, we could pull the data of how many students she had that started a CSU application. And as we were getting closer to the deadline, who had not pressed submit. We can pull that list of kids. Anna did this, brought those kids into a room and said, I notice your CSU application's not done. You have 10 days to submit. How can I help you? That kind of targeted intervention truly would not have been possible without a data tool where we could really target those students with proactivity. So you'll see there's lots of career assessments within this platform. It also allows us to apply to all the things I just mentioned, and then the data reports. I mean, I'm not even a data person, and I'm geeking out over the things that I'm able to see. So parents can create accounts. We're gonna really launch that next year because we want our parents to engage in this process as well. Because the counselors are doing so many incredible things. I'm just glad that you're giving us the platform tonight to really talk about all of it. So going into this, I already mentioned all of these things. So 9th through 11th grade counselors, we really just wanted them to try 1 to 2 activities because we realized once we started the academic plan, it was a lot bigger undertaking than we realized. So CCGI kind of it needed to take a back seat. So I'm glad that we listened to the counselors and did what was best for them and for our students. We're gonna continue to provide more training for our counselors, and then truly in the fall, maybe even end of this spring, finalize a scope and sequence that really makes sense for what our counselors are able to do with the resources and the time that they have. Going into, I mean, this is super cool. Here's the thing. Students are so used to applying outside of this platform that this does, just gives you a snapshot of the kids that we were able to capture, but you can see how many students at each school applied. This is from one of the data reports I pulled, applied at the different schools, UCs, CSUs, and this community college application is much higher now because I took a look at it yesterday. It's actually really incredible. It also tracks all the different community colleges our students are going to, which is not just NVC, it's really all over the state. So this was a huge success. So thank you to, I think Anna and Wendy are the only 2 12th grade counselors in the room, but this is just a really big, this is their win and success, along with Gloriana Diaz and Laura Lewis. So big shout outs to them. Sticking with some of the 12th grade data, I actually pulled this again today. We're now at 92% completion rate of FAFSA. This is unheard of, you guys. First, we'd never ever tracked this, so I can't say what it was in the past, but I absolutely know, and you guys correct me, it's never been this good. It was 52%. Okay, 52%. So, I mean, they're knocking it out of the ballpark with everything they are being asked to do. And so ACHS, I know these off the top of my head because I just added this today. So ACHS is at 93% completion. Way to go, Wendy. I mean, seriously. First year counselor at ACHS, and she is killing it. Vintage High School is now at 82%. Napa High is at 83%. New Tech, it should be actually past 85% once I get the opt-out kids out of there. And then Vintage VOHS Valley Oak is now at 68%. And NVIS, you guys, I'm just taking that school under my wing and doing the best I can, being the NVIS counselor on top of a lot of this work. Let me see. Oh, shoot, Monica. Okay. I didn't know how to go back. So just another amazing thing that, Dr. Musetti has heard me talk a lot about this, and thanking her for bringing stars to the district. Trustee President Chu's son was involved in it this year. We have a lot of educators, kids that are taking advantage of these opportunities. This 32 network school partnership has really been truly a partnership. I consider them a part of this team because of all the time that we work together. And I know Anna and Wendy and Gloriana and Laura, I hope feel the same way, because they are just adding another layer of support for our students, which is really helpful with our counselors that are doing so much. So just to go into this, our college advising, oh my gosh, I cannot wait to send you and Monica the data. We had 93 seniors in 2026 engaging in the one-on-one college advising. Get this, since we launched the juniors, and I know Norma's in the room and Bibiana's in the room, any other junior counselors? Trisha is in the room. 159 juniors have already registered for college advising. And that's really all these ladies who helped during the STARS visit organize, make those visits happen, and encouraging students to sign up. So 159, but get this. Of the 159, 93 students have already had one session. That's insane. So I'm just seeing that students are hungry, and ACHS, they love stars. I think of all the high schools, they're taking the most advantage, honestly. But in addition to the college advising, the fly-in opportunities, I was able to attend a counselor fly-in opportunity in the fall. Bibiana Corona attended one just recently in April, and there's another one that I know a few of the counselors here have already applied to for next fall. So they are taking advantage of opportunities as well to learn more, and I'm just thrilled for them to get to be kind of wined and dined and get to go to all of these amazing colleges. 42 students applied for this year's summer programs. I am waiting really impatiently for them to tell us the results of where our students got accepted. And already, as you know, last summer and this fall and this spring, we've had 26 students total that have engaged in fly-in opportunities. We have one student from American Canyon High School and another student from Napa High that are going to fly out in May to use Chicago for that highly selective program. So I'm very excited for them. The professional development that we're receiving as counselors, but also our parents and our students are engaging in, is incredible. If you have kids in the room, I sent out one today. May 5th is STARS Virtual College Fair. It's phenomenal. Kids get to get in breakout rooms with a rep from Caltech. I mean, that's not a very normal opportunity. So I just keep pumping them out. And again, I'm just putting it out there and hoping kids and parents take advantage. Here's the craziest thing. The executive director from STARS can track all the people that are attending these. We have as young as fifth graders tuning into some of these workshops, which I think is crazy and also really cool. So as we really launch CCGI, and let me tell you, we're going to have to do another one of these for the middle school counselors because they're attacking CCGI with force right now, and it's really cool. Just us starting really we're at 6th grade level, and then by the time they get to them, it's gonna be great. So the middle school spring visit, as you know, stars come in the fall and in the spring. We did a ton. The high school junior counselors were really, like I already said, they were instrumental in making that junior engagement as successful as it was. I hosted a meeting for the top 20% of juniors at Napa High. It was a great turnout. We had a beautiful senior recognition dinner for our students that engaged the most with stars. So it was about 43 students, and of the 43, 32 came with their families. Dr. Musetti was there. President Chu was there with her son as a parent. Danielle was there, and a lot of our counselors came too. Let's see, the middle schools, this is really huge. Our STARS team visited every single middle school and engaged with all the Math 1 and Avid 8 classes, and the feedback from the middle schools was just, it was more than I was expecting. So really starting those conversations early on can really change how a student thinks about themselves when they get to high school. These are just some of our college acceptances. I mean, our 12th grade counselors have a lot to celebrate. From Notre Dame, Columbia, USC, NYU, U Chicago, Case Western, tons to Cal. I can get more, nitty gritty and the Ohio State.
Good job skipping over Stanford.
I said, didn't I say
no,
Stanford?
I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay. Well, that one kind of just takes over the. Go Bears. Go Bears.
You do have 3 bears up here.
But I just have to say that I think one of the reasons I like this job so much is I get to advocate for the work that means so much to me and the people that I like. I am so honored to work alongside. So the counselors that are here today in the room, it's not everybody, and I'm not taking your thunder, Mario, I swear. But I am privileged to work. I'm just privileged to work with really incredible professionals, and I'm so glad that the 7 are here tonight on at the end of a week. And I'm just lucky that I get to try to make their jobs maybe a little bit easier and to support their work, listen to them, advocate for what they need, and try to make things better for students across the board. So thank you for your time.
Kelly, just so you know, you're not stealing my thunder. It's actually Dr. Musetti's thunder. So, but before Dr. Musetti moves to the next item, I just want to celebrate the work that this college and career team, I'm in awe of the work that they do. I'm appreciative and proud that I get to work with Kelly and Danielle, and the work that they've done this year has been astonishing. As Kelly has highlighted, our counselors have done some incredible work this year. We've asked a lot of them, and they've been able to work for the good of kids, which I think that is always our goal. So we're super appreciative. We also want to highlight something in the college and career space that we appreciate is just the level of integration and support that we ask of a lot of our other departments, such as business services, enrollment services, the technology department. Nikki back there, if she has to set up another MacBook for me for a CTE program, is probably going to be very mad. And also Peter Abood and our data services team. So I just wanted to highlight just the amount of amazing integration that happens in NVUSD that allows this college and career to happen. The board as well, Danielle highlighted, it was lovely seeing you folks yesterday, but just seeing you in those college and career spaces just shows the importance of the work that we are doing on a day-to-day. So appreciation from me and Dr. Reddy and Matt Manning and the instructional services team. And on that note is Dr. Musetti.
Do you want to do formal public comment on the
Yeah,
presentation?
let me do the
to
public
to the presentation of certificates and then board comment, or anyone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so are there any public comments online on this agenda item, Mr. Michaels?
There are no public comments on this item.
Okay, great. We're going to go to J1B since it's related. J1B, recognition of NVUSD high school academic and guidance counselors for advanced college and career readiness initiatives.
Great. Mr. Landeros, I'm going to ask for you to assist in this if you can, since you lead this work as our Director of College and Career Readiness. So I'm going to go ahead and call names, open this up. You'll hand the certificates. We are going to take pictures by team after we do the presentation of certificates. But I'm going to kick it off with just, again, first of all, I want to thank you, our career and college readiness team that works here at the district office, for this outstanding progress report on the initiatives aligned to Strategy 2 of our 5-year strategic plan and board annual priority 2. We could have never imagined this level of progress 2 years into this strategic plan. The progress shared by Dr. Reddy, Mr. Landeros, Ms. Molinari, and Ms. Watkins would not have been possible either without the exceptional work of our high school counseling teams across all 5 of our comprehensive high schools who implement the vision and the tactical work on the ground, in the trenches. So as it was described by Ms. Molinari, Dr. Reddy, Mr. Landeros, and Ms. Watkins, from strengthening our career technical education pathways that Ms. Molinari presented on and getting students connected to them, to implementing those 4-year academic plans and areas, to developing the CCGI scope and sequence, to serving as trailblazers, because that credential program was a pilot by the College Board. So serving as trailblazers in the College Board Advanced Placement Counselor pilot, to supporting our first cohort of seniors through this National Stars College Network, and then of course advancing financial aid and dual enrollment opportunities across all of our schools. Your work, this team's work, is expanding access and creating meaningful pathways for our students that, again, we could have never imagined. You are closing opportunity gaps every day. And today, or tonight really, it's late, especially for you. We're used to this. We proudly recognize our high school counselors for their tireless dedication to ensuring that every student in NVUSD has the support and opportunities needed to succeed. In the 2025-2026 school year, this small but mighty team is transforming what was once a largely paper-based system to a dynamic, data-driven online system paired with your exceptional relational skills to connect with students in ways that can truly change life trajectories. Our NVUSD adult portrait, adopted by this board through our community-driven process in developing our strategic vision and plan, calls for educators like you to be motivational, student-centered role models, to be activators of learning, to be champions of equity and belonging, to be compassionate communicators, to be adaptive and collaborative leaders, to be critical thinkers and solution generators, and to be reflective, open-minded learners. And you, in this past year, have modeled it all. Our counselors embody each of these attributes daily as they implement these initiatives simultaneously, ensuring our students graduate as college and career-ready scholars ready for the real world. Thank you. In alignment with our core values of kindness, joy, and celebration, we take this moment tonight to publicly and proudly recognize and thank you for your leadership, your innovation, your collaboration, and your unwavering commitments to the students that you serve. So tonight we're going to recognize you all individually. Just for the record, we have 15 high school counselors in the district. Almost half of them are here. We have 7 of them here tonight on this late evening. And I'm going to call everybody's name into the record, even though only 7 are here. The 7 that are here, if you could come up and get your certificate, and then we'll take pictures by high school counseling team. Does that sound great? Yeah? Okay, great. Okay, we're going to start with our American Canyon Wolves, American Canyon High School. So... we have Wendy Summers. We have Trisha Hernandez. You can, we'll call them up after we do the certificates, yeah. Vanna Som We have Vanna Som, so we'll get that back to the school site. And then applause, yeah. And Troy Lenning, okay? All right, get ready. Up next, we have our Napa High School Grizzlies. We have Anna Andrilla. We have Norma Magdaleno. We have Mayra Bogarin. And Marisela Lopez Soto. We'll get that back at the school site. From New Technology High School, our Penguins, Laura Lewis, who emailed me personally and said she couldn't be here but would have loved to, so we'll get that certificate back to her. And then our extraordinary counselor making such a difference with this new internship program at Valley Oak High School, our continuation high school, Stephanie Lamarca, who's not here this evening. And then last but not least, of course, our vintage high school crushers. We'll start out, we'll start Gloriana Diaz, so that will go to the school site. Viviana Corona. Cindy Johnson. And then Annabelle Viscara, who will get that back to the school site. And then we wanted to go ahead, and even though our focus is our site-based high school counselors, we know that this work the lift could not have happened with the 15 of them without our extraordinary leader here at the district office, our first year of having a district-level counselor to guide the work across the school site. So we're going to go ahead and give a certificate to Miss Kelly Watkins. Okay, so now we're going to have our counselors come up by teams. We're going to invite the school board to come on up and take pictures with each of the high school counseling teams. Thanks for sticking with us tonight, and thank you for being here.
Get in behind. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, okay, go to Riz. Yay! Woo! Napa High! Yay, Napa High. All right. Trustee Chu, I just got to stop you. I have to work One, 2, 3. All right, now I'm all right, 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you so much for all of your hard work. Congratulations.
Cute.
And then we'll go on to. So now is the time for comments and questions or anything, discussions from trustees. Trustee Jenkowitz.
Kelly, I'm sorry that you don't like your job. We can talk about it later. Right back at you. What a pleasure it is to be able to publicly take a moment to recognize and sincerely thank all of you for the profound impact you have on the lives of our students every single day. As trustees, we often talk about student achievement, college and career readiness, and the importance of supporting the whole child. But the truth is, so much of that work happens because of you. You are the first person a student turns to when they feel motivated, inspired, overwhelmed, uncertain, or even unseen. You help students navigate academic choices, but just as importantly, you help them navigate life in moments that are so impactful. You listen when a student needs someone to hear them, you encourage them when they begin to doubt themselves, and you help them see opportunities they may never have imagined for themselves. I am sure for many of our students, you are the person who helps them believe that college is possible, that a career path is within reach, or simply that the choices that they make really do matter. That kind of influence cannot always be measured in data points or reports, although we do have a data system that is gold standard, but its impact can last a lifetime. The progress we are seeing in college and career readiness across our district is a reflection of your dedication, your compassion, and your unwavering belief in our students. You help create school environments where students feel supported not only academically, but emotionally and personally as well. I want you to know that your work is deeply valued. Thank you for being advocates, mentors, and champions for our students. The difference you make reaches far beyond graduation, and our district is stronger because of every one of you. Thank you so very much.
Trustee Water.
It's always awful going after, speaking after Trustee Jankowicz. I did raise hands out there, people I used to work with, and Myra, Kelly, yep, there you are, Anna, at good old Napa High, and you know, look at this wonderful job they've done guiding students into colleges, and yet that you have so many other things to do. You're the people who the teachers call when we might be having a little issue with a student's attitude, things like that. I remember Myra was always particularly convincing, you know, and she'd come down and take the student outside and give them the chat that, the kindly chat that sharp-tongued Mrs. Water was not about to give. So we had a little yin-yang thing going on there. But thank you so much for all this hard work. And I'd like to thank the superintendent for kind of revealing the STARS network to us. What a difference it's going to make to our students. You know, there are certain circles, they seem to be dominated by people with platinum educations who are bursting with privilege, and they say that college isn't necessary. One billionaire was giving students $100,000 if they wouldn't go to college, but instead found a company. But you know, particularly for family who doesn't have a college-going background, having a child go to college is a world-changing experience. It helps the entire family. It exposes them to so many possibilities. Thank you so much for being a part of this. I mean, my heart is just exploding right now with joy at the opportunities these students are going to have. I remember how excited I was when students got into the college of their choice. And, you know, we've managed to just multiply that by so many factors, just in such a short time. I can't believe it. And we really do owe it to your energy and, you know, your faith in our children. So thank you so much.
Trustee Reiser?
So much has already been eloquently expressed by my colleagues, but I just want to add my gratitude here from the dais and pull out something that Kelly, you said in your presentation about starting these conversations early can really change the way a student sees themselves. And you crew are where the rubber hits the road, having those conversations and helping students broaden their understanding of what is possible. And we have an enormous influx of resources, the STARS College Network, I'm going to say CGI, and that's not what it was, CCGI, the CCGI platform that you have launched, That academic plan that you did in Aries, what an enormous lift for all of you to have done. And that rubber was hitting the road in every single one of those conversations. And we are so lucky to have such competence, such compassion, such dedication, professionalism, and commitment from our team here, starting, with our district-based team here, the Career and College Ready team headed up by Dr. Reddy. But really, you counselors are the ones that are making it happen hour by hour, day by day, not only in these sort of envisioning our future conversations, helping students shape their understanding of what's possible, but also being there when they hit bumps in the road, being there to lend the supportive ear, to gently guide and encourage and support and cheerlead. And so we're just so grateful, and I'm very happy to have the opportunity to say so out loud and into the record. And to your beautiful faces, thank you so much for your hard work. We're grateful, and our students are benefiting from your dedication and commitment. Thank you.
Trustee Villegas-Hart.
Hi, I am super, super happy to see all of your cute faces here tonight. Harkening back to my own experiences at Napa High in 1994, if it hadn't been for the counselors and for Mr. Ashlock, I would not have gone to college. Mr. Ashlock literally helped me get into Cal Poly. I'm a big supporter of the counseling team here. I want to congratulate each one of you and thank you for your time and your dedication to our students. And also, on a personal level, my 3 sons. My son Michael will be graduating UC Davis a semester early with honors, and I give you guys a lot of credit for that. So thank you again, and congrats.
Any other comments? Well, I have lots and lots of comments because I think my family probably most immediately benefited from all of your hard work. My son, of course, loves STARS Network. I think he can be your spokesperson at some point. And we're just very happy that he got the support when parents, sometimes they don't listen to us. And they need a second opinion, basically. So I'm very happy that this has become our gold standard in our school district, and you guys made it happen. So kudos to all of you. And I have an incoming 9th grader, Ms. Summers. I know you know, and he got the STARS, treatment as an 8th grader, getting the onboarding, and I am really looking forward to that Aries academic plan, because that really sets the stage for everything else that he possibly could do, right? And of course, he can change his mind. But I'm really looking forward to really the fruition of everything that you guys have done. So thank you so much from my family, and of course, I think you've heard from the school board that we're all very supportive of your hard work, and congratulations. Okay, with that, we are going to move on to item H, which are
And they should all go home.
Yes.
It's Friday.
Early morning on Friday.
Thank you.
All right. Item H, reports. Item H1, Board of Education and Student Board Representative. All right, we'll start with Student Board Representative Greason.
Yes, thank you. So starting off this month, I recently went to San Diego to tour UC San Diego and San Diego State. They were really nice campuses, and it was a really cool thing to experience. And after that, I ended up committing to San Diego State, so I'm super excited about that.
Oh, congratulations!
Thank you. And for my internship that I'm working on still, I've been working on it for this past spring semester. It's currently Blue Ribbon Month, so that's a campaign that Cope Family Center is working on. It is Child Abuse Prevention and Awareness Month. So we're partnering with local businesses to raise money for these prevention services. We're doing dine-in donates, shop and donates, and it's a really cool experience if you can go support. There's like specific businesses that do dine and donates, and you can help support, and it's really great. I know Cole's Chop House is doing it, the Kitchen Door, and like several other ones. It's really cool. And we also have our Kids Day coming up, so that's very cool. Additionally, at school, 11th graders at New Tech attended San Francisco State University, and they got to do a tour. It was really successful. I think it was a really cool experience for them. And also last weekend, Napa High just had their prom, and I know several students from New Tech attended, and it seemed like a really cool thing. So I'm glad they got to do that. Also, I spoke to Hudson today, and he just wanted to give an update that Vintage High School is hosting a play, and more specifically, it's students from their drama class and AP Government, and they're going to be putting on Animal Farm. And it's going to be on April 30th, May 1st, and May 2nd. So that looks super exciting. So probably check that out. And yeah, that would conclude my update.
Thank you. Trustee Reiser?
Thank you. Let's see. Since our last board meeting, I participated on April 7th in our board self-evaluation workshop, which is one of the governance training and support trainings that we engage in as a board. On April 13th to 15th, I traveled to Washington, D.C. with some of my colleagues here on the dais for the California School Board Association's federal advocacy trip. It's called Coast to Coast. It was my second time being part of the NVUSD delegation. And the goal of this is really to build trustees' capacity as legislative advocates for education, and orient us around sort of federal level issues that impact us here in California in public education, sort of educating us around particular federal priorities, and then preparing us to go and meet with our federal representative. We did have a scheduled meeting with our representative, Congressman Mike Thompson, who is a great advocate for public education, and really aligns with the priorities that we were there to discuss. Unfortunately, our meeting at the very last minute had to be switched to meeting with a staffer, but we're going to give Congressman Thompson a pass because sitting in the waiting room of his office, the television was on C-SPAN, and we could see that he was acting as ranking member during a committee hearing. So we're going to let him off the hook and say he had a rock-solid alibi there. But it was just really a valuable experience to understand the connection between federal funding and our state funding, and the overlap there, and just to highlight a couple of the priorities that we were there to learn about and raise the profile. One was, of course, reminding our legislators that the IDEA, which is the Individuals with Disability Education Act, has never, ever been fully funded and poses a real burden on general fund for all public districts. And so we were there advocating for increasing the federal contribution to that unfunded mandate. Also, interestingly, especially in light of our presentation tonight, another of the legislative priorities was to try to get increased federal funding for career technical education, expansion and stability to really be able to have state-of-the-art, industry standard education in CTE pathways. So that was just a very rewarding and valuable experience, and I was grateful to be able to represent the district on that trip. The day after returning from Washington, D.C., President Chu and I were invited to attend a convening of the Bay Area Board Leadership Group. It was the first convening. 8 of the largest school districts in the Bay Area were present with trustee representatives, and just discussing ways that we can unite and advocate for better funding, resource allocation, and conditions for public schools in the Bay Area. So that was a really rewarding, interesting experience. On April 20th, I attended our SELPA Community Advisory Committee meeting, and I'll report out on that soon. And then yesterday, of course, was the wonderful celebration at the Vintage Agriculture and Culinary Innovation Student Center. I was there with my colleagues, and it was just a really exciting example of the ways in which we are expanding and raising the bar and the quality of our CTE pathways within NVUSD. And this concludes my report.
Thank you. Trustee Water?
Thank you. Happy birthday, William Shakespeare. And on the 27th of March, I went to the Napa High Play and saw Percy Jackson and the Olympians. We had a break. On the 7th, we had the NVUSD board self-evaluation. And then on the 12th, on the 13th to the 15th, I was in DC, coast to coast, and Trustee Reiser eloquently described our efforts there. Yesterday, I went to the agricultural and culinary, is it Student Center, Innovation Student Center, or Student Center for Innovation? I'm going to have to remember that. Ribbon cutting. And I was really, really happy to tour the, walk around. It's just a wonderful facility. Students are going to love it, and they'll learn so much. And this master gardener saw a big sign for soil health with agriculture and animal husbandry, and this is it. If you don't have healthy soil, you have absolutely nothing. So yes, they're starting them out right. And I really particularly enjoyed the culinary center and meeting the chef. And look, anytime I'm not interested in food, call the Undertaker. They had wonderful hors d'oeuvres they were serving. I particularly liked the fava bean with mint and lemon, and it was great. People were just really happy and excited, and it seemed like it just took forever to make it happen, but it happened, and it's just going to be wonderful. And sometime during the break, I can't remember exactly what day, I was listening to KQED Forum, and they were having a discussion on the Santa Rosa School's financial problems. So I decided to dash off a comment, cement my popularity with the Santa Rosa School people. And the host read my comment on air, which was how the NVUSD extricated itself from a similar situation several years ago. And our climate resolution, remember that, is being presented for adoption at UC Davis. And it is part of Napa High School graduate Liliana Koresh's campaign for Student Senate at Stanford. And Congress, she's going to end up being president of the entire university before she graduates. And Congressman Thompson's staff complimented us on it on our coast-to-coast visit. And that's my report.
Thank you. Trustee Martin?
Yes, on April 7th, I attended the board self-evaluation meeting, and then yesterday I attended the opening of the Vintage High School Agricultural and Culinary Student Innovation Center, or is it the Agricultural and Culinary Innovation Student Center? So I just have two observations. The first is, I remember going to the FFA farm back in the sticks where I grew up, and everything was made out of wood and chicken wire. This is not wood and chicken wire. And so it was really nice. It's really nice to see, and my parents were in ag and stuff like that. I was never interested, but it's really nice to see majors or classes like agriculture have resources put behind them. For example, I noticed that in the buildings that are going to hold animals, there are cameras, which is a really nice innovation given what can happen with an animal when someone's not there. I thought that was very, very forward-thinking and very thoughtful. The other observation, I think, I don't know if, I think the addition of a culinary center right next to a vineyard, right next to animals is only something that's going to happen in the Napa Valley, given the way the culture of the Napa Valley has combined food, wine, and art. But the way we've combined food and wine and how the farm to table philosophy behind food sort of started here. So it's really neat to see that philosophy reflected so concretely in a program that we have here. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Trustee Jankowicz?
Thank you. I was out of town, so I'll have a short board report this week. But before I start,
You can tell us about your time out of town.
I think I will not do that. But before I start, I wanted to thank President Chu and Trustees Reiser and Water. I did not attend the Coast to Coast meeting this year, because I was out of town, but I did receive communication from members of the CSBA Board of Directors and the executive team about your presence in DC, and I was proud to hear such positive feedback regarding your participation, so I wanted to extend my gratitude. I attended a CSBA BOD meeting in Sacramento. The primary focus still continues to be closing the achievement gap. You know, the mantra remains that the state must modernize its approach to accountability and ensure that what is implemented is similar to or aligned with reciprocal or shared accountability that is focused on state level actions. I attended the CSBA Board Self-Evaluation Special Meeting, which will be reported on later. On April 8th, the 4-bill package sponsored by CSBA, the SOS for Student Achievement, received its first committee hearing, appearing before the Assembly Education Committee, and I am happy to report that all 4 bills passed and advanced to the Assembly Committee on Appropriations. It's one step at a time. There was a lot of public comment, not only from CSBA, but from superintendents across the state. I continue in my advocacy work with CSBA to be able to engage with trustees and delegates from multiple districts in advocating to the legislature, God, I cannot speak, thank you, and help procure one-on-one meetings to kind of expand issues. And in this work, the Solano School Board Association is now hosting 3 of the SBI candidates for a debate, which is a great example of local advocacy at work with statewide implications. Reminder, AEC calls for proposals opened on March 30th, and I attended my first subgroup meeting. I will sit on the committee that will review all the proposals for the annual education conference. So it'll be a really unique opportunity to read about the issues, successes, and concerns that the diverse school district population of California is currently experiencing. I attended the fiscal year 2027 webinar on the federal budget update. Trustee Reiser and I worked on a governance ad hoc committee. I worked with 2 school-connected organizations this week. Discussions focused on fundraising and auditing. I attended the Agriculture and Culinary Innovation Student Center ribbon-cutting event. I won't go into any more detail. I attended the district-led school-connected organization meeting later that evening. And this morning I had a bylaw meeting, governance-focused, and I attended a legislative update webinar, and that concludes my report.
Thank you. Trustee Villegas-Hart?
Hello, good evening. Just prior to being elected onto this board, I spent five years on the news board. As mentioned by our student trustee, April is Child Abuse Prevention Month, but April is also Sexual Assault Awareness Month. Specifically, this April is the 25th anniversary of the recognition of Sexual Assault Awareness Month, which is an annual campaign dedicated to raising public awareness about sexual violence and educating communities on how to prevent it. We do have a connection with NVUSD and news in many of our schools. I would like to point out one other point for this one. On April 29th is Denim Day. It's related to Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and it stems from a 1992 Italian Supreme Court ruling that overturned a rape conviction because the victim was wearing tight jeans. So every year on April 29th, wear jeans and keep your very tight ones, tight as you can get. And in solidarity with that, that concludes my report.
Thank you. Trustee Gonzalez-Mars?
Yes, thank you, President Chu. Much has been said about activities in the month of April, but I also attended our special board meeting with our CSBA consultant on the very important annual exercise that we conduct as a board for our self-evaluation. Very important for our team to connect and discuss ways for us to conduct and do our business as a governance of an important board. Then I also attended the river cutting, I'm just going to say Ag Center. Just beautiful. I mean, just that was my comment when I walked through the center, was that aren't barns made out of just like wood, and it's supposed to be just like cold, and I don't know. It just state of the art, beautiful. Students just seemed happy, even though these were students that were giving us a tour that are not going to enjoy this facility, they were just as excited to share with us, knowing that here's the legacy that they are also leaving for the next generation of students. So that was just really empowering to hear their voices and excitement, and just explaining all the things that campus is going to offer to the students. And then I also attended the special board meeting for yesterday, and that concludes my report.
Thank you. So my last attendance at a board report at the board meeting was on the 12th of March, so my list is a little bit long. On the 13th of March, I attended the Donaldson Way Facilities Improvement ribbon cutting. It was wonderful. And that evening, I also got to enjoy Grease, put on by the Vintage High School Drama Department. On the 20th of March, I attended the Canyon Oaks 20th anniversary celebration with several of the trustees, and it is, of course, a school of my heart because my children went there. Right after that, I attended the ACMS Awards Assembly. Always great to see all the wonderful students who have done so much in their trimester at ACMS. On the 24th, I attended the STARS Senior Recognition Dinner, as was said before, for the inaugural cohort. Thank you, of course, to the College and Career Readiness team. On the 9th of April, I attended the ACMS Open House. Last week, was it last week? Feels so long ago. I attended the CSBA Coast to Coast with Trustees Reiser and Water. I then attended the Bay Area Board Leadership Convening with Trustee Reiser. On the 19th, I actually got to watch some Cal baseball with the ACHS baseball team. So thank you to Coach Brown and a couple of the parents for the invite. And on the 21st, this week, on the 21st, I watched the webinar for Welcome to High School, where the team really did a wonderful job in outlining what high school will be like for their incoming ninth graders. So it was a fabulous event. I know I talked to Dr. Musetti about how this is the inaugural workshop really for the parents, and I saw all of the chats, and all the parents are very engaged, wanting to know what was going on, especially some of the new incoming high school parents. This is my second rodeo, so not as unknown, a black box, but I think it was really impactful for the parents to understand what comes next and all the wonderful things that we heard about today from the team. Yesterday, I had my board president check-in, of course, the Ag Center ribbon cutting, and also I was part of the School Connected Organization Committee meeting with Trustee Jankowicz. And that concludes my report. Seeing that we are almost at 9 o'clock, I am going to call for a break. I'll see you in about 5 minutes. All right, we're back. Now we are on to H2, Board Representative Reports, H2A, Special Education Community Advisory Committee.
Yes, thank you. We did have a meeting, and the topic of this meeting was supporting transitions through the early years. So our SELPA Director, Kelsey Pettyhome, I think I'm saying that right, Pettyhome, really has turned this meeting, since I've been back on the committee this go around, really making it just practical information to share with parents of students who've been identified as qualifying for special education. So I really recommend that if you fall into that category in the community and you do have a child who qualifies for special ed services, it is really worth your while to attend these community advisory committee meetings, because they're really for the parents to just give you practical knowledge on how to navigate different processes, how the systems are set up, sharing important resources of other organizations that might be of service. So it just, in general, I really highly recommend. They're by Zoom and they have translation offered. They are Monday evenings starting at 5:30, so hopefully we'll align with people's schedules. But there is just a lot. I won't go into the detail of all the information that is targeted for those special education parents of younger students, but just to say that it sort of helped explain what the different phases are as you move through the system. So there's the sort of early years, the birth to 3 years old, where they describe that those services are really more family-centered services. And then there's the transition to preschool, where they're still sort of family-oriented, like how do we help the whole family in meet the needs of this particular child based on their identified disabilities. And then the next phase for the early years is transitioning into the school district and into the transitional kindergarten years, where they explained it then is not really a family-based, home-based services, but really school-based is where the students receive those special education services. So just a lot of helpful information about how to navigate those transitions. And there were representatives from the school district, but also from the North Bay Regional Center, which are the regional centers that are there also to support those families with those identified needs. So it just was very interesting, edifying, and I think if I were a parent trying to enter the system with a student who'd been identified, it'd be a lot of helpful information. So that's just an overview of this last meeting, and that concludes my report.
Thank you. Item H2B, City of American Canyon Liaison Representatives.
We have not met.
H2C, City of Napa Liaison Representatives.
Have not met.
Have not met. Okay, H3, Superintendent and Executive Staff.
Great. Thank you, President Chu. Good evening, NVUSD trustees, staff, and community. It's been a few weeks since our last board meeting, so there's much to report about various things happening across the district, but I'm going to keep it focused just on some highlights. I do want to reiterate, as we approach the last 6 weeks of the school year, my gratitude for the continued dedication and commitment of our staff across all of our departments in 26 schools. Your work remains the driving force behind the success of our students and the strength of our district as we come close to wrapping up the 2025-26 school year. As many of the trustees noted, we celebrated the ribbon cutting of the Vintage High School Agricultural and Culinary Student Innovation Center. This incredible space, as you all said, represents our commitment to hands-on learning, career pathways, and real-world application of skills. And I just want to note the presentation was so fantastic by Danielle Molinari and Dr. Reddy's team regarding the strengthening that we're doing of the CTE pathways here in NVUSD. After transitioning those programs from having many decades of oversight by the Napa County Office of Education, which we're very grateful for, but it has been an extraordinary opportunity to transition them, bring them in-house, and be able to strengthen them in the ways that you heard in Ms. Molinari's presentation, and then to see it all come to life in a facility like the Agriculture and Culinary Student Innovation Center is just really an incredible opportunity for our students in our district. Kind of keeping down that theme or that road, like President Chu described as an 8th grade mom, I also attended that high school informational webinar, and that was a collaboration between our parent engagement team and the college and career readiness team, again under the direction of Dr. Reddy in the Instructional Support Services Division. You know, this is something I've been wanting in the district for so long, and I'm so grateful that Dr. Reddy and a couple of departments in instructional services were able to do this at such a high caliber. I thought it was so professionally done. Really a fantastic informational session for our incoming 9th grade families, providing that important guidance and support as students transition into high school. Ensuring that the families really feel informed. You know, high school becomes a really big world. There's so many technical pieces to it between, you know, graduation requirements versus A to G requirements, you know, how to handle IEPs for our special education students. They addressed all of it. It was professional and comprehensive. And so the competence and the care that was demonstrated by your team, Dr. Reddy, as we are getting better at more intentionally supporting the transition from middle to high school, which is really part of our strategic plan in Strategy 2, Board Annual Priority 2. It was exceptional. So I'm very, very proud. I also just want to take a moment to recognize Assistant Superintendent Dana Page and our Human Resources team for their exceptional work. During this critical hiring season. They are just busy hiring and making sure that we have all of our positions filled for the 26-27 school year. Their efforts to strengthen our recruitment strategies, again, in alignment with our strategic vision and plan, refine the hiring processes, expand outreach, have really resulted in very strong applicant pools comparatively when we think of past years. And this work is just really essential to ensuring that we continue to attract, select, and retain the best and brightest educators and support staff to support our students and community. So thank you, Ms. Page, to the hard work of you and your team. On a national level, Julie Bordez and I had the opportunity, she is our Chief Communications Officer. We had the pleasure this morning of serving in the capacity of sort of trainers and panelists for the National School Public Relations Association and the American Association of Superintendents and Administrators. They have a program of several modules that superintendents can take with their chief communications officers, because they really believe that the partnership between superintendent and the communications office is critical to the success of the district. And they asked us as a pair, superintendent and chief communications officer, to facilitate the learning in the module today about the integration and sort of intersection between effective governance and effective communication and community engagement. So it was great facilitating the 2-hour learning session online. We had superintendents and communication officers from all over the country as participants in our session. We were very honored to be invited as facilitators by NESPRA. It was an honor to share the work happening in NVUSD and to highlight the importance of strong, transparent communication practices in supporting effective governance. So lastly, as we enter this important season of assessment, our schools are really in that trench right now. I want to wish all of our students the very best as they begin their CASP testing. You know, some of them are already in it, and in the next coming couple of weeks. You know, we also want to recognize the dedication and effort of not only our students, but our teachers that had prepared them for these tests. And we also have the advanced placement exams coming and other end-of-year assessments. So just really put out positive energy for our students as they demonstrate their learning and mastery of standards that they've been working on all year. And with just 6 weeks remaining in the school year, I encourage all of us to just stay focused, support one another, and finish really strong. I'm incredibly proud of the work happening this year. I think today's presentation with our college and career. We're mixing up word order here tonight. It's getting late. Our college and career teams is just a really great demonstration of the amazing work happening across NVUSD. And grateful for the collective effort that continues to move us forward over this last decade of improvement. So with that, I'm going to toss over to my assistant superintendents. We are going to start with Ms. Dana Page, who oversees the Human Resources Division.
Thank you. Good evening, President Chu, Board of Trustees, Student Board Representative Greason, and Dr. Massetti. Our NVUSD Careers website has been completely updated with current photos and a design scheme that matches our new NVUSD website. When you visit nvusd.org and click the word careers at the top, you're taken to our careers website, and the design update makes a nearly seamless transition. Through this site, interested candidates can learn about what it's like to work at the NVUSD. They can search for jobs based on location and begin the EdJoin application process. Our key performance indicators are impressive so far. In March, we had 3,773 visits to our site and 1,000 apply clicks, which means 1,000 individuals were interested enough in a particular job posting to begin the application process. I'm grateful for the leadership of Assistant Director Gina DeLuca, who partnered with NAS, the company that helped build the site originally, to make this important refresh right in time for peak hiring season. And it's that time of year. Get ready to boost your energy and feel more hopeful. The Spring Wellness Challenge, a fun bird-themed activity called Chirpy, is meant to improve the health of our employees and their families. It encourages daily movement, active teamwork, and building good, healthy habits. The challenge is officially running from April 20th to May 19th. You can start tracking your activity right away. You will earn chirps by tracking your exercise minutes and other positive, healthy actions. See your progress as your chirps turn into colorful birds on the fun Chirpy Wire graphic. Logging your activities quickly is important to make sure all your efforts count toward both your personal progress and your team's total score if you choose to join one. So don't wait. The last day to sign up and create or join a team for the competition is Monday, April 27th. The team competition will end on May 17th, and the final day to log activities is May 19th. Look for more information on how to sign up through our email and the NVUSD All Division Staff newsletter. Thank you, and this concludes my report.
Thank you, Ms. Page. And next, we'll hear from Dr. Monica Reddy, our Assistant Superintendent of Instructional Support Services.
Typically, the student reports really bring the fun, but I think Dana might have me beat tonight with that report. Good evening, President Chu, Board of Trustees, Student Board Member Greason, Superintendent Dr. Massetti, and the NVUSD community. On April 14th in Napa and April 16th in American Canyon, the Advanced Learner Programs and Services, also known as ALPS, showcase highlighted the exceptional work of our 4th and 5th grade students who presented projects they developed to families and peers from across the district. The showcases featured a wide range of engaging and thoughtful projects spanning history, science, art, technology, and engineering, with topics ranging from the history of Troy and ancient Greece to a balanced exploration of artificial intelligence's benefits and challenges in art. These events not only celebrated student academic curiosity and creativity, but also brought to life key elements of our graduate portrait. Most notably, students demonstrated their growth as confident and affirming self-champions, as they proudly shared their learning, and as innovative, collaborative solution seekers, as they made connections between the past and present while proposing solutions to real-world challenges. Special thanks to our teachers, Site ALPS liaisons, and Mary O'Sullivan, our District ALPS representative, for their leadership in organizing these events and supporting students throughout their learning journey. On Tuesday, April 21st, NVUSD hosted its first ever district-wide webinar for rising 9th grade students to support incoming freshmen as they prepare for high school. Thank you to Dr. Massetti for your attendance and gratitude this evening. This work was led by Dr. Uribe and Director Landeros, along with the College and Career Readiness team and several colleagues. They presented key information on A to G requirements, areas for your planning, and other essential topics. The webinar reflects the district's commitment to our early outreach, clear communication, and equitable access to college and career readiness information, helping students begin their high school journey with confidence. The prevention and intervention team is closing out the last few months of the school year strong and vigorously preparing for next school year. Our MTSS pilot teams continue to engage with the new platform EduClimber, a data tool that helps us track student progress, with additional staff training scheduled for May to ensure we are ready for a full launch in the fall. We are ensuring staff alignment to the MTSS and health and wellness frameworks by transitioning roles at both elementary and secondary to student support TOSAs, which is designed to bring support to our students' need in the classroom and beyond through Tier 1 coaching, assessment and data literacy support, and student progress monitoring and direct services to students. A Flex Advisory Task Force launched earlier this month. This team of secondary administrators and teachers is studying our middle and high school intervention Flex periods to ensure they are fostering the right environment to provide Tier 2 support for students who need reteaching and retakes in order to succeed in their classes. We are grateful for our Student Advisory Council who provided valuable insight into the use of this time and how we can improve. This, along with the staff's insights led to the Flex Task Force developing a common purpose for these district-wide intervention periods and will continue to collectively solve both our technical and adaptive challenges our schools face to best serve our students during this time. It's exciting to see the school teams work together to create a better collective approach to our Flex Advisory time. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Dr. Reddy. And next we have Assistant Superintendent Ram Mangwala, who oversees business and operational services.
Thank you for the opportunity to update the board and the community. The business department understands the importance of recycling, so I'm going to start with recycling a joke from last year. April showers bring May flowers and the governor's May budget revision. The May revision to Governor Newsom's budget is due May 14th. While the business office always needs to prepare for the worst case scenario, we anticipate that the budget will include some positive news. Revenues at the state level continue to exceed all projections. This should translate into additional funding and very large contribution to the Prop 98 reserve. One of the highlights expected in the May revision is a substantial increase to the number of schools that qualify for community schools, along with additional funding. We look forward to hearing more about this, the details, and the enormous impact that this could have on our schools. There should also be additional one-time funds. Data Services is busy supporting sites with state testing, including the annual CAF test. Secondary sites have started this important testing, and elementary sites begin next week. We look forward to sharing the results of these important assessments with the board after the results are released later this spring. The tech team has been busy supporting staff and students across the district with state testing and other important in-classroom activities as we begin to wind down the school year. Our ed tech team has been working with several classes on career day focused activities centered on using 2 district-approved tools, Adobe Express and Canva, creating interactive infographics focusing on student future careers. We're also excited to kick off phase 3 of the district PA system rollout. Once finished, all district sites will be outfitted with our standard next generation PA systems, providing reliable communication and integration of Centegix, the district's wearable safety solution. To serve our American Canyon families, the enrollment team is now holding our annual American Canyon office hours at Donaldson Way. Staff will be available in the new multipurpose room every Wednesday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. through the end of the school year to assist with NVUSD registration. This concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Mangwala. And that, President Chu, concludes the executive staff reports for the evening.
All right, we are now on to H4, Facilities and Bond Program Update.
Next slide, please. So there are a number of recommended actions tonight. So there's a solar futility resolution change order, redwood change order and surplus of an old portable, add service, inspector of record, furniture procurement, GMP approvals, which stands for Guaranteed Maximum Price Agreement. So this is a very large step towards our summer construction, which means that our leaseback contractors have received pricing from their subcontractors. And so what these contracts do is they give us the maximum price that we know at this point in time. There's changes that are due to unforeseen conditions, along with some CEQA Environmental Quality Act exemptions. Next slide. And then for solar, there are 2 change orders. They're substantial in cost, and so why are they so substantial? So Napa, I think we've spoken about this before. The soil in Napa, which is really good for growing grapes, is very poor for building sometimes. And so a number of our school sites required some very substantial change orders where they could not use pillars. They literally had to dig a hole the depth of a swimming pool in order to put in a very, very large foundation for these structures. Next slide. For campus modernization, so one of our portables at Redwood, we needed to surplus that change order and put in a new portable. It did not have the proper paperwork, so in order to do a DSA project, we had to replace the portable. Next slide. Professional services, so architect design from AC Martin, store model specialist at Donaldson Way, and inspector of record for construction services. Next slide. We continue to purchase new equipment for our new furniture for our TK classrooms. As a reminder, I think this was going back 2 years ago, we remodeled our TK classrooms that we knew about at the time, and we bought additional furniture. And so what we're doing is we continue to buy new furniture for our TK classrooms as we add TK classrooms, but we do not have the ability to remodel those spaces until we do the interior classroom remodel. So we do not have the ability to do the little tiny one-offs. We will catch up with those when we move into the interior spaces. Next slide. So we spoke about this, again, guaranteed maximum prices. So for Wright Contracting, Arntz Builders, and FRC Construction for the work that we're doing at Unidos. As a reminder, we're doing some work on the locker room there to make it larger. Next slide. CEQA, so in the California Environmental Quality Act. So when you do construction, sometimes what you'll do is you will file paperwork with CEQA. It just protects the district and limits the time that somebody could challenge that with a lawsuit. And so just by filing paperwork ahead of time, it limits liability for the school district. Next slide. And that concludes my quick update. Any questions? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, now we are on item I, approval of consent agenda. Background information on these items is provided to the board prior to the meeting. A common motion takes action without discussion on a roll call vote unless discussion of items is requested by a board member. May I get a motion?
Move to approve?
Second.
First by trustee Reiser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments online?
There's no public comment on consent agenda items.
All right, all in favor, oh, sorry, we need to have a roll call vote.
Yes,
Ms.
Student
Morella?
Board Member Greason,
Aye.
Trustee Shu,
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez Mares,
Aye.
Trustee Villegas Hart,
Aye.
Trustee Jankowicz,
Aye.
Trustee Martin,
Aye.
Trustee Water,
Aye.
Trustee Reiser.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we are going to item J2, business services, open enrollment, J2A, open enrollment and demographics data presentation.
Right. Good evening, President Chu, Board of Trustees, Student Board Member Greason, and Dr. Musetti. Tonight I'm here with Rob Murray, consultant from King Consulting, to present on demographics and enrollment in NVUSD. I'm going to begin by providing the board with an update on the outcome of open enrollment for the 26-27 school year, and then Mr. Murray will provide you with an update on demographics and enrollment projections for the district. So each year between October 15th and November 30th, we invite families to participate in open enrollment, which gives them the opportunity to apply to attend a school outside of their neighborhood school. Overwhelmingly, we see these families participate in open enrollment when they join our system, like in TK or kinder, or when they're at a transition point between elementary, middle school, and middle and high school. So this year during open enrollment, we received 1,531 applications from 1,161 families. 85% of those families were at entry or transition points. 45% of those families were applying to attend one of our DLI or other non-boundary programs, and 32% of participating families submitted applications to 2 schools.
So TK, this was our first year of universal TK, and if you'd ever told me as a high school principal that I would spend this much time talking about transitional kindergarten, I wouldn't have believed it, but it's a big part of what we're doing. Our TK program expanded this year by 9 classrooms. We increased our overall enrollment by 25%. That's why we need more furniture, because there's just so many kids. Tiny chairs, they're very tiny. Our incoming TK cohort has the highest level of open enrollment participation. So in past years that had been middle school, but this year we saw that showing up in our TK cohort. So we had 328 applications submitted by 220 families, which is about 37% of the incoming cohort. Our DLI, TK, and kinder programs continue to have very high levels of demand. You can see here the number of applications we received at each entry point into DLI at NVLA and Pueblo Vista, and the number of families who accepted seats, and then the number of families we have remaining on wait lists. Something to keep in mind when we look at our wait lists is that those numbers do not equal the difference between the total applications and the number of students who accepted seats. And that's because families are often on multiple wait lists. They might accept an offer, decline another, and also included in these numbers are resident students who don't have to participate in open enrollment, but they're factored into our enrollment numbers. In response to the high demand that we see for DLI TK, we did expand a TK classroom at Pueblo Vista, which increased our DLI capacity next year by 33%. So in middle school, we received 358 applications from 278 families. So that's 24% of that current 5th grade cohort. So not quite as big as our TK participants, but still pretty big. So our Napa area middle schools received nearly all of our 6th grade open enrollment requests. You can see the breakdown here by school, applications accepted, and schools that still have wait lists. Our only middle school programs that continue to have wait lists are Browns Valley and Unidos. And the expansion of middle school options this year has resulted in smaller wait lists overall compared to last year. So our Napa area high schools, similar to middle schools, our Napa area high schools received nearly all of our open enrollment requests. This year we were able to offer all 8th grade students their first and second choices during open enrollment. You can see projected overall enrollment between Napa and Vintage is within 2%, with Napa High being projected at 1553, Vintage at 1587, which makes the two schools almost identical in size. New Tech High is projected to grow slightly with an enrollment of 381. I do want to mention that in addition to the open enrollment applications you see accepted at Napa High, there are an additional 38 students who live in the Vintage High boundary who will be attending Napa High School to continue with the DLI ESA program. And since open enrollment, New Tech has enrolled an additional 16 students. So where we're going to see some changes this year, our inter-district enrollment is going to look a little bit different. And this is due to the fact that one of our neighboring districts has changed their policy around inter-district students. So as of right now, we have, there are 45 students that we have accepted and who have been released by their resident school district. There are another 58 families that we have accepted. We're still waiting for them to be released by their resident school district. And then there are 25 students that we have accepted and their release was denied by their resident school district. So those 25 families and any other family that we find out was not approved by their district to come here, we're communicating with them and tracking their progress through any sort of appeal process that they may choose to engage in. So before I pass this off to Rob Murray, I do want to give you some context for our projections. So each year, Mr. Murray provides us with projections by grade level and school with the number of each students we can expect to see enrolled on CalPADS Day, and that's the first Wednesday in October. This is an important day because CalPADS Day is used to set our local control funding formula, which directly impacts our budget. So it's important that we can predict what enrollment might look like on that particular day. This directly ties to funding, and the projections are therefore used by the business office when they're working on multi-year projections. We also regularly look at Aries roll-up numbers as part of this process. So roll-up numbers is just the total number of students in Aries for a particular school for the next school year. on any given day. And as you can imagine, those numbers fluctuate and change throughout the year as students drop, transfer, open enroll. But they're typically very close to matching our projections by the time we get to CalPADS Day. So we receive our first set of projections for Mr. Murray in October or November each year, and we continue to adjust them throughout the year as we monitor our roll-up numbers. We've gone through a couple of iterations already. That helps us recognize trends, anomalies, make any adjustments to staffing that we need to as we move through the spring. So projections are also very important to a key part of our enrollment planning. They help me know how many seats we have to offer during open enrollment. They're also used to anchor master schedule planning at school sites and configurations of elementary schools. At the elementary school level, our projection data was used to centrally configure all elementary sites this year. So I'm able to measure our current enrollment against projections at each site and across the system to make sure that we have the appropriate number of seats available at each grade level and in each community. Centrally configuring elementary schools has greatly minimized the number of combination classes that we have at our school sites. We've seen a 75% reduction in combination classes actually since the 22-23 school year. And it's also allowed us to minimize the number of elementary teachers who have overage MOUs or who have any sort of assignment change after August 1st. So this year we didn't have any teacher assignment change after the 1st of August. And at our high schools, enrollment data is used to help secondary sites plan their master schedules for next year. We're engaged in that process. It helps them manage the impact of open enrollment, or not open enrollment, that too, but also declining enrollment that they might be seeing. It allows them to use that data to make informed decisions about teacher credentialing needs so that they can maintain quality program options for students. Centralizing master schedule support has allowed us to have tighter control over the allocation and management of FTE at our secondary sites and to better align our master schedules with our strategic plan. And in American Canyon, projection data will support planning for the reduced number of interdistrict students I mentioned earlier. This will be very important as we may be seeing a potential decline in enrollment there in American Canyon. Students do tend to enroll in American Canyon throughout the school year. They move in and out a little bit more than we see here in the Napa area. So these projections help plan to make sure that we have class space available at all grades at the elementary level and that there's a variety of schedule options for students in high school as well. And with that, I'll pass it off to Mr. Murray.
All right, thank you, Susan, and good evening. Again, Superintendent Dr. Musetti, President Chu, Board, Student Member Greason. But great to be here again, and in deference to the time, I will try my hardest to keep it high level, but of course, as always, please ask all the questions that you want, and I'm happy to dive into it. So again, as in past years, we're just going to focus on a few sections from the report, and as always, spoil the end of the book as soon as we start talking about it, which is, again, that comparison I'm doing long-term is ticking down. Now, current enrollment is the lowest it's been since 01-02, and projecting that you will still continue to decrease overall, though it is a much more modest pace than you have seen at some points during the last 10 to 15 years, and certainly compared to what some other districts are really in the teeth of right now. You have weathered, I think, a lot of the worst of it, but as we'll get into some of the reasons, there is still continued modestly decreasing enrollment coming kind of throughout the district. So this is the last 10 years, and again, just that technicality of the 2 years when you folded programs that had been charter schools into traditional district schools. And since we exclude the charter enrollment, you have the appearance of a couple of years where things were trending up. That really is the importance of footnotes here, because really absent that, you would have just been seeing steadily decreasing enrollment over the last 10 years. And when we look at that by grade, for those of you who've heard me before, the really big thing here is on that top chart, looking at the extent to which elementary enrollment is kind of the bellwether for this, because changes hit there first and then filter up through all of the higher grades. A little bit of an illusion here with the last couple of years where it looks like elementary enrollment has jumped. If you also look at that bottom chart, part of that is the expansion of TK that we've just been talking about. But even with that, elementary enrollment has largely leveled out recently. And that's really the big news. Again, to that point, you've kind of been through the biggest changes already. You're getting to the point where you can just see that roughly more even numbers of students coming in versus the ones moving up into middle school. And then on that bottom chart, again, very important that while kindergarten, of course, which is the cohort that really decides they roll into first grade, they take the place every year of some fifth graders who have moved up into middle school or 12th graders who have left the district altogether, that number has kind of dropped down below 1,000 and stayed there. But the total number of TK and kinders combined this year is more than you've ever had. So again, that need for the little furniture, that need for accommodate those smallest, youngest learners, you actually have more of them than you've had in your recent history, all told. And then just a few demographic snapshots. We've looked at this one the last few years just because if this was something with the reporting, but you certainly have seen the proportion of your students who are registered by CDE as qualifying for free and reduced price meals has jumped up and remained elevated for a few years. Again, consistent with trends we're seeing pretty much anywhere in the state. You have been a majority Hispanic or Latino district for a while and just becoming a just slightly stronger majority over time, but you remain a more diverse district than some districts in terms of you actually have bars that are big enough to put labels on for the majority of your race and ethnicity categories, the CDE tracks, and then looking at what we see from the census data. And this is really where some of the big things jump out, is that total population. Always take anything that doesn't end in a zero from census data with a grain of salt, because they do the full head count every 10 years. Everything in between is a smaller sample that they extrapolate from. But indications that even the total population may be decreasing from what we saw in 2020. And certainly when you look at it by age, in this case, I wanted to pull out what percent of the households in these different parts of the district have someone under 18 residing in that household. And you can just see over time, certainly between 2010 and 2020, that drop, but maybe starting to see in American Canyon especially, some increase of how many of the households have kids in them. So while total population going down, and the importance in this district of really looking at American Canyon distinctly from the Napa area, as we'll get into in a minute. So almost ready to dive into the big projection numbers, but really quickly, because this always comes up, we do look at that development every year. And one of the big questions is, you have all these reports, as we'll see on the next slide, all these projects that we're tracking, and you see hundreds and hundreds of homes, and you think, well, hundreds and hundreds of kids, not necessarily. And that's always that reminder, particularly in the Napa area, unless it is dedicated below market or affordable housing, you're probably going to see something less than one student for every 10 units that's built, though affordable housing remains a steady generator of students. American Canyon remains very different. You have a lot more students generated there. It's not off the charts like it used to be. What we're seeing in the single-family homes in Watson Ranch is something closer to a student, about a 0.5, a student out of every 2 homes, but that's still very high for single-family. It's just not as high as what you saw a generation ago when Canyon Oaks was under development and you were having something close to a 0.8, 0.9. So important to know that context, that we are tracking that, but just looking at that, having very different impacts on the 2 parts of the district. So while you have a lot of things happening in Napa, we're really looking at something that's not going to move the needle a huge amount relative to the major demographic trends. American Canyon, as you have seen, is going to have some impact more so from the development there. Of course. And then we touched on this with some of what Susan showed you, but you don't quite have every single box checked on this, but just a quick one-stop shop for your elementary students. You look down the columns on this, and you can see how many students that are enrolled in NVUSD live in each boundary, and then what schools they're going to. You look across the rows to see everyone who's enrolled at a certain school and what boundaries they come from. Again, that Certainly lots of families taking advantage of the open enrollment opportunities. And then we kind of get just some nice visuals that come out in the full report of just sort of the net results of that. This takes the non-boundaried programs, this takes the interdistricts out of the equation, but just looking at, of course, NVLA and Pueblo Vista, since they have boundaries, are still included here, so they're kind of special cases that skew this a little bit. But you can really just kind of see these visuals of the spatial analysis. And then the non-resident trends. This one's big because this year, still reaching that kind of record high levels. And as we heard, we're anticipating this is probably going to start coming down again, just due to some things going on with some of the neighboring districts. Actually, already went down this year in elementary school and middle school, and then saw that gain in high school. But again, absent also this trend, you would have seen perhaps some steeper decreasing enrollment over the last 10 years than what you actually did. Because again, going from literally just over 300 to approaching 900 students coming in from outside of NVUSD. So now the projections and the big result, and this is really the biggest factor. It's the local births, the people who already live in your community, who have kids, who reach school age and enroll in your schools remains the single biggest factor. The green box there roughly corresponds to who's enrolled right now. So again, you can see at the front end of that green box, kids born in 2018, 2019, 2020. You just look back at the years 2005, 6, 7 that have just recently aged out of your district, and you can just see it's no wonder that enrollment has gone down. You can just imagine these continuing to shift over to the right. And that red box represents births that are in the books. We know exactly who's been born. We're just waiting for them to get old enough to reach traditional school age, though the TKs from 2021, you already have some of those. And one thing that you'll see is continuing those years that you have in high school, in middle school, even in upper elementary right now, there were just a lot more of them who were born than who's waiting in the wings to replace them. And particularly, because you'll see this in the projections, 2024 in the Napa area, which is the darker blue one, was just, for whatever reason, a particularly low year. You bounced back up this year, but even with that, 863 in 2025 is still the second lowest number of births in the Napa area this century. American Canyon has been a bit more stable overall, but again, a couple of relatively lower years in the 160s. And again, even the quote-unquote normal years in American Canyon are approaching 200, when in the mid to high 200s used to be the norm there. So even in American Canyon, we are seeing that demographic shift. The other part we look at is obviously people move in and out constantly. So in the Napa area, we used to say it was pretty reliable. It may not be the exact same kids, but you netted about the same number moving in and out, plus or minus about 0.5%. We have seen in recent years, all the K through 11s leave over the summer. You come back as grades 1 through 12, and you've netted about 1 to 2% more of them. There are more families with younger kids moving in or enrolling in the district overall than you have leaving among who you would expect to return. That's good news. American Canyon remains very healthy in that respect as well. And this is sort of a one-stop shop that incorporates things like new interdistrict transfers, new people moving in for development, new people moving in for economic opportunity, people transferring out of charters or private schools. There's a lot that can affect these, but the main thing is we're seeing wholly positive migration for you now in those categories. So again, we look at the two major planning areas of the Napa area and American Canyon area separately, and stitch those together into your overall projection. And so what you'll really see here, and I want to highlight this, if there's one thing you'll see, that top line with the TK jumping from 587 and up again, past 600 is based on those roll-up numbers that Susan was talking about. I wasn't expecting that, again, those revisions that we do throughout the year. This was the first year you had universal TK, everyone was eligible. That should have been kind of your baseline. Based on who's enrolled already, it looks like you're going to have another jump comparable to what you had from last year to this year, which is huge. Because TK has always been weird because we know the kids are there. It's just how many of them are going to choose to enroll in TK. We have a much better idea how many of them you're going to get for kindergarten ultimately, and it looks like whatever is happening here, you're still capturing increasingly more of those families and students who are opting into TK. But the net result is, again, just some modest overall decreases. Still seeing, again, you look at your grades 3, 4, 5, you still have some cohorts over 1,000, over 1,100, and there's everything coming in for the next few years is probably going to be around 900, with, again, that particularly low year that was the 2024 births of 2028 TK, 2029 Kinder, that are just going to be even lower. So just things that are coming, and again, who you have, again, I don't think it would be a popular decision to say no one gets to graduate so that we can hold on to more of you for longer. So a lot of these where you have lots of kids enrolled, you know they are on the way out in the next few years, and we know who has been born within your district to replace them, and that's the main thing going on. I won't belabor the points with individually Napa and American Canyon, but Napa particularly is where we're really seeing that big jump in the TK, much above beyond what we expected. So we'll keep an eye on that. And then American Canyon, while going down next year overall, which is largely, again, a function of some of those larger cohorts that we know are on the way out, and the fact that we're not going to get that influx of out-of-district students to the extent that we have in other years. Going down, but then probably staying pretty close to that level. So low, just slightly lower than where you are now for the next few years. Again, that development activity and student generation there also helps offset things. So very relatively fast whirlwind tour of that, but please ask me any questions that you'd like. Thank you.
Thank you. Can we go to public comments first? Mr. Michaels, are there any public comments online?
There are no public comments on this item.
Okay. Questions or comments from trustees? Trustee Water?
There's a lot of conversation in the news about declining birth rates. The economists that are talking about it incessantly. And earlier this month, I was listening to NPR again and noted they were talking about a 35-year decline in the birth rate. And one big reason, we hear Napa's too expensive. People have philosophical reasons for not having any children, or certainly no more than one child. And the reason nobody's coming to our schools is because private schools are better, even though we've had private schools close in this community. But really, one of the big reasons is that teens, age 15 to 19, the birth rate has dropped tremendously. And I remembered this one. In 1991, we had 61.8 births, teen births per 1,000. In 2025, we have 11.7. That's tremendous. And I think most people would say that is a good thing. Young, and there are a bunch of reasons for that. But the other thing that struck me looking at, I read this and was looking at the developments, the River Sound Napa Pipe development, years ago, there was going to be an elementary school there. So far it's produced, I added up for both of them, phase 1 and phase 2, 90 students, which is, they could be any age, but that's certainly not enough for an elementary school. So I always enjoy your presentations, and for the last few years, when I listen to schools talking about their budgets and that sort of thing, I'm just silently screaming, inside my head, look out, it's going to happen to you. And, it's because of these presentations, the birth rate's dropping. And I listened to one reporter say, and this is why we need immigration, because we need people to pay into Social Security, which sounds pretty mercenary, but it's real. And it's really fascinating. And I think the numbers, that you give us, you're pretty good. They're pretty close.
Yeah, well, no.
Yes.
No,
Your projections are, very close.
I appreciate the chance to do things like see a totally unprecedented spike in TK coming and give you a updated
Right.
version that reflects that.
Right.
But yeah, no, and to, just quickly to your point, yeah, it's something that we've tracked birth rates by age a little bit because CDPH does do that based on the age of the person giving birth as well. And it's been pretty steady that birth rates for people over 30 have not changed a lot over time. And it's really, especially the teen pregnancy, but even through people in their 20s, that's really where the game has changed substantially in the last, like I said, 20, 30 years. You said 35, but yeah, it's...
I mean, the teen birth rate fell by 7%
Yes.
in 2025. I mean, so, those kids aren't going to be coming into our schools in 5 years.
Oh, yes.
Thank you,
My
Elba.
one contribution.
You did your part.
For us, yes.
Thank you. So, you're pretty good.
Thank you.
Trustee Jankowicz? I would like to say that couple things. Of course, I wrote it out because that's the only way I know how to do anything. Despite all the sustained enrollment decline, I appreciate how you continue to demonstrate very kind of intentional and strategic enrollment management. It seems like rather than simply reacting to shrinking numbers, we're actually taking a proactive approach, and we're kind of in the enviable position because of all the right sizing of the ship to kind of manage declining enrollment instead of react to it, and that it has a lot of contributing factors. The multi-year demographic forecasting that you talked about, the data consolidation, the centralized elementary configurations, the secondary master planning schedule, all that, showing that the enrollment data is really being used as a planning tool, as opposed to kind of a reporting function. And I really think it's made a substantial change in how we approach all of this. And I think being aware of and managing our open enrollment seats, we are adjusting our systems to fit what will become a smaller and, with Mr. Murray's data, more predictable and then ultimately more manageable student population. Mr. Murray, your analysis always provides us with such a critical planning tool for managing our declining enrollment, and the studies give the district a more precise kind of understanding of future student populations at both the district-wide and then I know you have the statewide level data too, and it gives us a really kind of comprehensive, exceptionally detailed, year after year, highly accurate management tool. And we're very fortunate to have this data available. And I know I repeat myself every year, but it does allow us to move from reacting to enrollment loss after it occurs to making very kind of proactive evidence-based decisions that kind of protect our educational programming while ensuring, I think, long-term operational efficiency. So anyway, thank you to you both.
My question is for Susan. How hard is it to do your job?
An easy question?
No, it's like you have, how many applications do you have for, did you say over 1,000? Wait, I don't remember.
It was 1,500.
So you've 1,500 families that are
1,100 families.
Okay, well, still.
It's still a lot. It's a lot of families, yeah.
So are you having to handhold them? Is it like a puzzle that you're having to put together? Or what is it like to get everyone fitted for August 15th at the beginning?
Yeah, well, so enrollment's a lot more exciting than it sounds. It's a lot more exciting in enrollment than it sounds. But no, so my goal in the department is that when I work with my team, we try to set up systems so that most families are able to manage themselves. All of our enrollment's digital, so they apply online, we process their application, we place them. So we have strong systems, so I would say 90% of families they enroll without incident, and we don't have to handhold them.
Oh,
so
okay.
we've refined that from year to year. I use a lot of data, we do surveys, we get feedback. So when families do need support, it's a manageable number for us, because there's 4 people on my team. It's just the 5 of us. So we've gotten things to a place where when a family does need assistance, we're able to really respond to their needs, because most families are just flow through the system pretty easily.
And that's because the software you've been providing is so efficient.
Yes, and then we've collected feedback from families to make sure that we're providing clear instructions. If redoing the webpage, things that allow them to manage their own process in a way that we know works for them. So when families, because there are families that have unique scenarios, and that's when we tend to have to get involved. Just so.
I've heard stories about what NVUSD was like before this process, right, Trustee Water? Like enrolling in a school and not knowing, like having to go to the individual school and write something, like apply on paper, so it's...
That was my experience.
Yeah, so it's really neat to see like how, and especially since the data that you can collect can filter through the rest of the organization, you know, and provide such long-range planning. It's really cool. So thank you.
Any other comments or questions?
Well, I always enjoy this presentation, probably one of my favorites, just to understand what's coming up. So thank you very much.
No, it's always my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
All right.
He's always so patient.
He is very patient. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, of course. My pleasure. Good night.
All right, we are now on to item K, action items. K1 Business Services, K1A Resolution 26-20, authorizing continuation of emergency that requires the procurement of construction services.
Move to approve.
Second. First by Trustee Reiser, second by Trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There's no public comment on this item.
All right, may I get a roll call?
Student Board Member Greason?
Aye.
Trustee Shu?
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez Mares?
Aye.
Trustee Villegas Hart?
Aye.
Trustee Jankowicz?
Aye.
Trustee Martin?
Aye.
Trustee Water?
Aye.
Trustee Reiser?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you. Item K1B, audiovisual upgrades at McPherson Elementary with Advanced Systems Group.
Move to approve.
First by Trustee Reiser, second by Trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There's no public comment on this item.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. Item K1C, renewal and student data privacy agreement for ARI software.
Move to approve.
First by Trustee Reiser, second by Trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There's no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstain? Okay, motion passes. K1D, renewal and student data privacy agreement for EduClimber.
Move to approve.
First by Trustee Reiser, second by Trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There's no public comment on this item.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. K2, facilities improvement, K2A, resolution 26-19, authorizing change order.
Move to approve.
First by Trustee Reiser, second by Trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There's no public comment on this item.
A roll call vote, please.
Student Board Member Greason?
Aye.
Trustee Shu?
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez Mares?
Aye.
Trustee Villegas Hart?
Aye.
Trustee Jankowicz?
Aye.
Trustee Martin?
Aye.
Trustee Water?
Oh, sorry, I thought you said Mars. Aye.
Trustee Reiser?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you. K2B, contract with KWC Construction Services.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by Trustee Reiser, second by Trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments online?
There's no public comment on this item.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. K2C, California Environmental Quality Act, notices of exemptions.
Move to approve.
First by Trustee Reiser, second by Trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments online?
There's no public comment on this item.
All right. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. K2D, purchase of TK furnishings.
Move to approve.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There is no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. K2E, purchase of outdoor seating.
Move to approve.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments online?
There's no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. K2F, request surplus relocatable classroom.
Move to approve.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There's no public comment on this item.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. All right, we are on to K3, Human Resources. K3A, Resolution 26-17, declaring May 4th to May 8th, 2026 Employee Appreciation Week.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments online?
There's no public comment on this item.
All right, may I get a roll call vote?
Yes. Student Board Member Greason?
Aye.
Trustee Shu?
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez Mares?
Aye.
Trustee Villegas Hart?
Aye.
Trustee Jankowicz?
Aye.
Trustee Martin?
Aye.
Trustee Water?
Aye.
Trustee Ricer?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
All right, K3B, Declaration of Need for Fully Qualified Educators.
Move to approve.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments online?
There's no public comment on this item.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. K3C, Amendment to Agreement with Nicole Miller and Associates.
Move to approve.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments online?
There is no public comment on this item.
All right, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. Item K3D, Agreement with Pepperdine University Clinical Affiliation.
Move to approve.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments online?
There is no public comment on this item.
All right, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Motion passes. All right, we are now on item K4, Instructional Services. K4A, Addendum to School Plan for Student Achievement.
Move to approve.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There is no public comment on this item.
All right, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. K4B, Renewal Agreement and Student Data Privacy with Jose Valdez Math Foundation.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There is no public comment on this item.
All right, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. K4C, Student Data Privacy Agreement with Starfall Education Foundation.
Move to approve.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There is no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. K4D, Memorandum of Understanding with On the Move.
Move to approve.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There is no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. K4E, Agreement with Literacy Minnesota.
Move to approve.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There is no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. K4F, agreement with Isley Vineyard Management.
Move to approve.
First by trustee Reiser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There's no public comment on this item.
All right. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Motion passes. K4G, agreement with Aztec Software.
Move to approve.
First by trustee Reiser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There is no public comment on this item.
All right. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Motion passes. K4H, agreement with Napa County Office of Education.
Move to approve.
First by trustee Reiser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There is no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. K5, operational services. K5A, ratification of agreement with RNS Erection of Vallejo, Inc.
Move to approve.
First by trustee Reiser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There is no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. K5B, ratification of agreement with American Eagle Enterprises.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Reiser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There is no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. K5C, ratification of agreement with North System, Inc.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Reiser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There is no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Okay, motion passes. K5D, contract with Castino Restaurant Equipment and Supply.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Reiser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There is no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Okay, motion passes. Item L, informational. Item L1, general services. Actually, we have not had any meetings for any of the committees, so that includes curriculum and student support, facilities and tech, finance, and policy committee. L2, business services. L2A, enrollment report. Any public comments?
There is no public comment on this item.
Okay, any comments from the board? Okay. L2B, quarterly investment report, March 31st, 2026. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There is no public comment on this item.
Okay, any comments or questions from the board? All right. L2C, warrant register for accounts payable checks issued by NVUSD. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There is no public comment on this item.
Okay. Questions or comments from the board? No? Great. Item M, additional suggestions and comments from board members and superintendent. Oh, I don't see any comments. Item N, future agenda items. Seeing none, we'll move on to item O, adjournment.
Second.
First by trustee Martin, second by trustee Reiser. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstained, motion passes. Thank you.